he's everywhere in this ballpark tonight because it's Aubrey Huff T-shirt night.
All kinds of orange. With all the T-shirts out there. Let's take a look at the grips, Jim, for Mark.
Well, there you go. And this is, again, he's not overpowering, maybe 86 to 89, two-seamer, four-seam fastball, so they move a little bit different. And then let's right there, the cutter, so you hold it, you can see that middle finger right on that seam to get a little bit of average. Slider. Again, you throw it like a football. And the changeup, which is such an important part of his repertoire because that'll slow down the bats.
And we are ready to go. B.J. Upton, who is struggling mightily at the plate. Their leadoff batter hitting only 167, did not have the spring training, trying to get back into game shape here. And the numbers just aren't coming right now. Delivery to him, hitting the air to left field. No sooner said than back to the wall. PA with room, and he's got it. One step more, and that would have been the first home run of the season for Upton.
Well, I think if you got your answer whether the ball's carrying, which way the wind is, it probably knocked it down because lately this ball's probably out of this ballpark. You could see right to PA as he went out there, 364 to a little bit over his left shoulder. But again, great speed. Center fielder learning how to play left field. If you saw the pregame show, John Shelby, the outfield coach, first base coach, talking about his improvement.
64 degrees the temperature at game time, and the temperature is going to be cool before we are done here tonight. Here is Carl Crawford, 6-game hit streak. The leader in stolen bases, put one to the gap, and that is going to fall in. Jones trying to hold him to a single, cuts it off, but won't be able to do it. It'll be a stand-up double. And the first two hitters going after the first couple of pitches, and both getting a lot of bat on it. That'll be a double for Crawford.
Well, he's 22 out of 22 when he steals bases, so singles turn into doubles, and this is just a curveball. You're playing around, and it ends up in the middle of the plate. Now it's under the strike zone, but you're a couple of steps to left center, so you're really pitching away from your defense. And if you're playing him to hit the ball the other way, that's a routine fly ball, but nobody's playing there.
And Evan Longoria stands in. This is what you don't want to have happen with Tampa Bay, obviously. You get a runner in scoring position, and you get Longoria with 44 RBIs, the leader in the majors in that department, with an RBI chance, with just the third hitter of the game coming up. He is 4 for 8 with 2 home runs off Mark Hendrickson. Hendrickson has given up 7 homers, 6 to the right-handed batters. Crawford at second is a threat to go, and now Hendrickson wants to talk with Zahn. Roberts will be watching the base at second. Evan Longoria just putting up such tantalizing numbers this season, both in average, home runs, power, RBIs. I mean, you were looking perhaps at one of the game's great players over the next decade plus if he remains healthy. First in doubles, RBIs, extra base hits. Hendrickson's pitch to him at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, and he seems to hit righties and lefties. He can hit, almost the average is about similar runners in scoring position to his regular average. Maybe actually hitting right-handers a little bit better than lefties. It looks like you can get him down and away, open stance, high hands.
Longoria takes it to center, hit it hard. Jones going over, tails away. Crawford will tag. They get the out on Longoria. Moving over to third base is Crawford, but now there are 2 down.
And again, part of pitching is defensive. They play him a couple of steps. They pitch him away. He hits it right on the nose. All 3 balls hit hard tonight. But Adam Jones standing right there, even though the ball tailed away from him. So again, if you look at Mark Hendrickson, as we look at the numbers, that's what you just talked about. The bottom line is that he has to pitch the contact. He's not going to strike that many people out. So he's got to make his pitches. You have to shift your defense accordingly, and then hope he makes quality pitches.
Pena, who leads everybody in home runs. He has 13. He has 32 RBIs. Carlos Pena, he's had a couple of days off. Didn't play Sunday in Boston, just a pinch hitting role. So back in the lineup. And against the left-handers, Pena's hitting .256, 5 of his 13 home runs. He has hit off left-handers. He's got a runner at third base, but he's got to get a base hit, 2 down. The Orioles put the big shift on, moving the shortstop as Torres behind second base. 0-1 delivery to him. That is taken down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, didn't play against Beckett because he was 3 for 22 with 12 strikeouts, and then eventually would come in as a pinch hitter against Papelbon. 4-3 Boston lead, and you did the game. Papelbon came, he struck out Pena, Upton, and Crawford.
That ball to second base, right into the shift. Brian Roberts way back there makes the play. Hendrickson, that's about an inning where you'll see that many hit balls with nothing on the board. Doesn't happen very often. 2-ups for the Orioles, the big top three coming up. By Southwest Airlines. Roberts will lead it off. Jones, Markakis, and Huff, Mora, Montañez, and Zahn. PA and his Taurus. 358, 6 homers, 21 RBIs. Adam Jones.
And our PNC scouting report on Andy Sonnenstein. And at bird feed, he has not pitched well against the Orioles. 2-3 with a 7.11 ERA in the park. Only threw 1 home run. That was Robinson Cano early on. And right-handed batters wearing him out at 397.
And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Brian Roberts leading it off. Brian trying to get the bat going again after a tremendous first month. It has really quieted down now for Brian Roberts. Delivery to him is taken inside for a ball. And Brian needs to get on base if he's going to have that leg work done. Steal some bases, but hitting only 146 here in the month of May. 1-1 delivery is inside to him. Sonnenstein falls behind 2-1. Sonnenstein is a very fast worker. Very high ERA, a very high opponent batting average.
Yeah, but the one thing he does is he controls the running game, and they've only tried to steal 2 bases. Last year only 4. Haven't been able to steal any. So he keeps the ball in the ballpark. High batting average, throws a lot of strikes. Not overpowered.
He's got a 2-2 count here in Brian Roberts. Outfield in a couple of steps. 2-2 delivery. Brian will foul it away. Sonnenstein with a 313 average this year. He had a 277 opponent batting average last year. His career batting average is 287, so it's very high for a starting pitcher to have that opponent batting average as a career number and this year. Roberts down to first, backhanded. Pena will take it to the bag and gets him 1 away.
Take a look at the Rays defense. Crawford, Upton, and Kapler around the outfield. Longoria, a lot of people think he's going to be a Gold Glover. Bartlett really solidified their defense last year. Zobrist plays everywhere. He's at second tonight. Pena last year only 2 errors, made 2 against the Orioles last week in Tampa Bay. And then Navarro, who's not catching well, not hitting well, not having the kind of year he had last year behind the plate for the Rays.
Here is Adam Jones hitting at 358. And Sonnenstein will get the pitch into him for a strike. Adam with that 404 average against right-handers. It is the #1 average against righties in the American League. Very divergent. Left-handers only 226 and 404 off righties. Slider's going to miss down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jones. Adams gone 3 for 5 in the chances he's had against the Tampa Bay 26-year-old right-hander. 1-1 delivery, skips away, 2-1.
Well, there you go. And when we talk about how Adam Jones and Nick Markakis have done against perennial all-stars, you can see off to great starts. Sizemore really struggling. 3 for his last 21. They're thinking about maybe giving him some time off. Torrey Hunter, good start. Vernon Wells, healthy.
Off-speed delivery is in there for his strike. Adam got fooled by that.
Well, I think that's the one thing that when you throw 85, 86, 87 miles per hour, you better not get into pattern. And he'll throw the changeup any count, throw the curveball, the little cutter.
2-2 delivery to Jones. Adam is 4th in average in the league, tied for 1st in runs with teammate Nick Markakis. Both he and Nick have taken advantage of Camden yards, as Adams hitting .377 here. That is the 8th best. And Nick Markakis right behind him's got the 5th best average in a home ballpark. 2-2 delivery. That hit in the air to left field. He got a lot of it. And goodbye. Home run. Adam Jones, number 7. Finally gets one off a pitcher that he's actually seen before.
Yeah, a little breaking ball. And again, you saw it early on. It's not a horrible pitch, but again, you see a lot of guys make adjustments. We saw Huff do it against the Yankees off of Chamberlain. If you see a breaking ball, you come back with it. It stays too much in the middle of the plate. Here's your Exmo. And what did Adam say? He said, I like that because it shows what you try to do as a hitter, get the barrel of the bat to the ball.
And our Famous Dave slow-mo come in to Famous Dave's for the best tasting, most award-winning ribs in America. And you saw that one out of the yard. Markakis takes it up high. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So a 7th home run for Jones. Only the 2nd homer surrendered by Sonnenstein, and the first one to a right-hander this year. And the Orioles have the 1-0 lead.
Well, again, he doesn't do a lot of things to beat himself. Holds runners well, doesn't throw a lot of home runs, doesn't walk you. But again, his stuff is pretty average.
Pops that one up. Longoria over and will not have a play.
And I'm not saying that as an insult because he won 13 games. In fact, he was on his way to winning more games than anybody in the history of Tampa Bay when we talk about Andy Sonnenstein. And then his best month was September. They were on their way to 97 wins, 0-3 with a 3.16 ERA. Lowest ERA, just didn't get any run support. And right there, Adam talking to Richie Bancells, the Oriole trainer.
Nick Markakis takes it to left field, not deep. Carl Crawford coming, and makes the play. And there are 2 down. That'll bring up the man of the night, who literally has given the folks the shirt off his back. Aubrey Huff, who's delivering the long ball, did it against Java Chamberlain. Made a little wrinkle in doing so as he crossed the plate, as well as when he rounded first. Yeah. So the next meeting with the Yankees should be very interesting. Homered in 3 of the last 4, 31 RBIs. He is still the all-time leader for the Rays in home runs and doubles.
Yeah, Carl Crawford tied him. Now they both have 449 RBIs. Of course, Aubrey is no longer playing for the Rays, as we can see.
The shift, again, as Joe Madden has done in these games against Aubrey, is as pronounced as any team. That's Longoria, the only guy on the left side of the infield. Everybody else is on the right side. 0-2 up high. Sonnenstein missing, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be throwing any low and away fastballs, because a routine ground ball to anywhere, either where shortstop or third, is a base hit.
1-2 delivery to him down low.
And if their advanced scouts told him about Aubrey Huff, we saw home runs in 3 of the last 4 games, but at least the 2 in the Yankee series on low curveballs. 6 RBIs on 2 hooks down in the zone. There's another one, but this time down and in.
Aubrey fouling that one off. The Orioles continue to do what they have made a habit of all season. The runs coming early. If you add those up, they've outscored the opposition 80-59 in the first 3 innings. But After that, they've been outscored 130-84. So I guess what they need to do is pump up the first 3 innings by a few more runs.
Well, yeah, if you could do that, except they're among the best in doing that.
That one to left field by Huff towards the corner, and it will be a foul ball very close to the line.
There is just not any justice. You put the shift on. Of course, with 2 strikes, everything changes. You're just trying to cover the whole zone. And with ball, again, anytime if you're a left-hander, you slice it down the line. It's some of my misplaced drives. They slice too much.
It's not true.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, a rare day indeed.
Joe Madden honored up in Harrisburg today, coming from Pennsylvania.
3-2 delivery and got him looking. So the first strikeout. Huff did not think so. The Orioles will pick up 1 run, 1 hit on 1 swing of the bat. Adam Jones delivering the homer off Sonnenstein, his 7th of the year. George, a lead. Mark Hendrickson, Ibar up. Ibar is the hottest hitter, or second hottest hitter, in the month of May in the American League. He's batting .556 in May, second highest average of the month. Only .250 overall. Takes the pitch outside, 1-1.
Yeah, that and Pat Burrell, they signed for 2 years, $16 million. He's got a stiff neck. Otherwise, I would imagine he'd be in there. Maybe not, though. You'd think.
Ibar hasn't played very much. It's only the 3rd game in the last 13, and he is taking the role of designated hitter in this ball game. Switch hitter against Hendrickson.
Yeah, we saw him from the other side of the plate down in Tampa Bay. Actually had some real good at bats. And there's your good changeup and a fastball count.
The new pitch of the day is that pitch right there. The changeup that moves away, whether it be delivered by a right or left-hander, moving away from the batter. We see more pitchers putting that into their repertoire. 2-2. That one blooped into right field for a base hit. Boy, he couldn't have thrown that one in any better. Leadoff single. The Orioles will close out the homestand tomorrow night, 7:05. Rays are here. Tickets start as low as $9. You can enjoy a great night of O's baseball. Your last chance to see the Birds before they head out on that 11-day road trip. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. So the leadoff man on. Second hit for the Rays. Ibar at first base, and here's Ben Zobrist. Zobrist making the start at second. Only the 3rd start he has had there. He moves all around position-wise. The pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Switch hitter, 375, right-handed, 209 left. He has had 5 home runs, 3 left, and 2 from this side of the plate for Zobrist.
Yeah, anytime you go from 66 wins to 97, which is what Tampa Bay did, you need role players, and that's what Zobrist did last year. 12 home runs, pretty much out of nowhere. Learned to play the outfield. Actually plays it pretty well.
He's a good player. I mean, it's sometimes very hard to find ball players, number one, who are willing to accept the role, knowing that they're going to come in and be a utility player, and even more important, who can produce in that role. And Zobrist has been a plus in both of those departments. Short lead at first base, 2-0 delivery to him. Zobrist will take the strike on the inside corner. 2-1.
And one of the keys for Mark Hendrickson at 6'9", talked about earlier in the year, had some shoulder problems, and then it kind of went to the back. So again, if you can't get over your front side, but you could see how much extension he has. Imagine trying to hit off somebody that's 6'9", ball coming out of a different orbit.
Good pitch again, down and away, and one Zobrist couldn't catch up to. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Zobrist. Hendrickson faced the Rays in the first start that he made and won. It is his only win. He gave up a run on 6 hits over 5 1/3 innings in that ball game, making his Orioles debut.
And that was a game where the Orioles got 5 runs in the first inning off Jeff Neiman, who will pitch tomorrow night. So an early lead. I don't know if you ever coast against the Rays or any of the teams in the American League East.
2-2 off speed, hit in the air to center. Jones. Adams got it. Zobrist is retired. Ibar back to the bag. 1 away here in the second inning. We're talking about Joe Maddon. Joe Maddon was honored at the state capitol in Pennsylvania today by the House of Representatives. He was given an award. They passed a resolution honoring him for his efforts last year with Tampa Bay. He had a great time. I talked with him before the game. His mom was there. Got to set up on stage with him. He said the only thing was they kept talking about me too much and saying all those nice things. And then he said I get up to speak, and he said it's kind of overwhelming to stand at the speaker's platform. But he had a great day. And good for Joe. Good guy.
Well, manager of the year last year.
Always fun to be around and talk baseball with. Here is Jason Bartlett. Bartlett's got a 4-game hit streak coming in, batting at .351. And he will take the pitch just outside, ball 1. Bartlett has quietly had one of the best offensive starts in the American League. .351 average, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. At most would, you talked about hitters over 300, his name would not come up. 1-0 delivery. Hendrickson gets it in there, 1-1.
Yeah, and there's been a tendency in baseball now to, and they've always kind of known, but now they have people in the stands. There are companies that actually go out, talk about range, and maybe has the best range in the American League at shortstop. So when you factor in the fact he can hit, he can steal bases, 7 out of 8. I mean, he really solidified their defense when he came over from the Twins last year.
1-1 delivery off speed again, will miss.
I mean, their pitching staff went from having a 5.38 ERA down into the 3.7 range, almost 1.6.
You see what you face when you face Tampa Bay. These speedsters like Crawford and Bartlett deliver infield hits, so you got to get to a ball in a hurry on ground balls. Runner at first base, 1 down, 2 ball 1 strike count. Soft toss over.
And if you watch the National Game of the Week on Sunday night, it was Beckett against Garza, and Beckett threw Jason Bartlett 5 straight curveballs. Now that tells me, and of course he was throwing 95 to 96, that this guy's a pretty good fastball hitter.
Here's the 2-1 delivery to him. That is a fastball, and that one is going to miss up high. Jason Bartlett with a 3 ball 1 strike count on him. Tampa Bay trailing 1-0. Adam Jones has delivered the home run.
And this may be where you start the runner. Ibar doesn't have great speed, but you figure Hendrickson's going to be throwing a strike. Nope, he doesn't move.
Down to third. That is a fair ball. Mora could not get it. Rolls into foul territory. Ibar headed for third. PA will get it into the cutoff man, and it is a double for Bartlett. And with 1 away, the Rays have runners at second and third.
And again, you come a little bit predictable unless you're going to change speeds when you're behind. So here's the fastball. He's looking for the fastball. Now you see why Beckett threw him all the breaking balls. And again, you're playing off the line, even though maybe, as we watch again, barrel the bat to the ball. Out in front looking for his pitch. Speeds up the bat. Hooks it down into the corner.
So a dangerous time right here. I was just looking. Bartlett's average off fastballs is .430. It is the 6th best average in Major League Baseball.
And then it brings up a guy that has yet in 45 at bats to drive in a run, even though he's 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
Kapler, it'll be way up high, almost got away. Well, Kapler's got himself a chance right here. He's making the start in right, platooning. 10th time he has started out there. Taking a look down at third. He's batting only .222. His extra base hits have been 6 doubles. No homers, no RBIs. 1-0 count. And that one is hit in the air to left field. That is back. PA with some room, and the warning track gets it. Ibar will tag up and score. Throw to third. Not in time. And just got back to the bag. Bartlett. Boy, that was almost interesting, because Ibar was just chugging to the plate, and they almost got an out at third.
Oh, you're right. Nice throw by PA. Gets good communication from Adam Jones, so he goes back, doesn't catch it on his back foot, and slides right through. And again, I don't know exactly why he's running, even though it's a deep fly ball and he has good speed. But the Rays will tie it up on the first RBI by Gabe Kapler. Nice to be able to make it out and get a run in.
1-1 ball game. Here is Navarro. And he will take the pitch outside for a ball. He's just not hitting a lick. At 182 so far on the season, 2nd worst average against left-handed pitchers in the American League. He's got a runner at third. There are 2 down. And he gets a base hit up the middle and an RBI, and it is a 2-1 lead, and Bartlett's effort to get over to third base pay off with a run. Boy, does that sting if you're pitching and you've got Navarro up and he gets the RBI base hit off.
Well, when you're 3 for 29, this is a guy you figure I need to get him out. I mean, he made a good pitch to start the inning to Ibar, but he kind of fought it into right field. Bad pitch to Bartlett because he got behind him. And then again, toughest time to drive a runner in is when you have 2 outs and a man in scoring position, and Navarro comes through.
Now to the top of the order, B.J. Upton, fly deep to left his first time up. And right now, Mark Hendrickson isn't fooling anybody. And Tampa Bay has collected 2 runs on 4 hits off the Orioles starter. The Orioles have won a couple of games and lost 4 of the 6 Hendrickson has previously started this year. And that is a strike taken. And his spot in the rotation is tenuous. We'll talk about that later on. Amber will have a report on it, as Dave Tremblay wouldn't say much before the game about Hendrickson's status in the starting 5. That pitch is taken inside. Upton with a 1-ball, 1-strike count and 2 down.
Well, I think if you go back to the beginning of spring training, he signed on to be a swingman, spot starter out of the bullpen, maybe a long man, come in, get lefties out. If you maybe had a right-handed pitcher start, 6 or 7 lefties in the lineup. But because of injuries, he's doing something that he doesn't do that well. And then when you get the opportunity, are you pitching well or aren't you? And do you have other players that can come in and you hope can do a better job? And that's the decision that the Orioles are going to have to make. It's really not a personal thing. It's just a matter of a team trying to get better.
You're trying to win.
Yep.
2-ball, 1-strike count. Runner on at first base, Navarro. B.J. Upton hitting 193, and he will step out. Upton had 7 postseason home runs last year, 7, and he only had 9 during the regular season. And this year, with a tough start he's had, he hasn't got any, with 103 at bats so far.
We'll take a look, and you talk to the hitting instructor. Navarro just got the base hit. Rollins, Guillen, Derek Lee, Matt Holliday, you can throw in. Uggla's hitting 189. We already talked about Sizemore. Jim Thome hitting 198. So a lot of guys struggling early on, but he is coming off shoulder surgery.
3-1 delivery to him, and he draws the walk.
And Steve Henderson, their hitting instructor, says number one, he's going to lead off because he can steal bases. He's got a high on-base percentage, a terrific center fielder. Joe Madden will tell you the same thing. You can't do too much work with that front shoulder because that's the key to hitting because of the pins that were put in to repair the labrum. So they're just going to take it slowly. When he gets hot, the rest of this team's going to get hot because he can be a dynamic offensive player.
The big thing for Tampa Bay is to be able to hang in till they get Upton hitting, hopefully Navarro for them hitting. They are 3 games below 500 right now and have fallen 6.5 behind. You don't want to get a whole lot further, no matter how early it is, behind in your division. 2 down, runners on at first and second base. Crawford had a double, continuing his hit streak to 7 games. And he will take the pitch for a strike.
Yeah, they want to get people healthy, as you know, Gary. And you know they had the best home record with 57 wins. And they've only played, what, 13 of the first 33 games at home. That'll change. 20 of the next 31 games will be at home. They get out of the American League East. I don't think they play another American League East team until June 5th.
They've played the most against the East so far, and we'll get out of that after this 2-game set here. They've played 20 against the East, so they'll have 2 more counting this one. And then the next 21 games are out of the division. They won't be back till they face the Yankees on that June 5 Jim was talking about. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Hendrickson trying to get out of the inning. Crawford, 1-1 delivery to him. Off speed, and there for a strike. 1 and 2.
And again, Crawford's all about scoring runs, stealing bases, 22 out of 22. The only home run was in a game where the Rays hit 6 home runs against the Yankees, and he hit back-to-back home runs. One of the 2 Rays off of Mariano Rivera, who had never allowed that in his career. And that was just one of those cutters down and in that he hit right off the foul pole.
Looking for a 2-out RBI. Crawford 13 for 28, including 1 home run during this 7-game hit streak. Talking about schedules, here's one I just cannot believe. The Red Sox have gone out to the West Coast to play the Angels in Seattle. They do not go back to the West Coast again. They are done with West Coast trips after this trip in the middle of May.
Right, they're playing the Angels right now, aren't they?
Tonight? Angels and then Seattle. And that's it.
Well, that's a big advantage.
How can that be? That one down the line left field could be a problem. PA diving is not going to get it. That is going to go all the way into the corner. Navarro, Upton will both score. It is another double. And Tampa Bay loading up on Mark Hendrickson, takes a 4-1 lead.
Now Felix PA doing the only thing you can do, because if you're not going to catch this ball, it's going to be a couple of runs anyway. You know, he just slices it away from him. And you can see he pretty much misses it by about 1 foot 16 inches, and then hustles, because otherwise Crawford's thinking inside the park home run with that speed.
So Carl Crawford has 2 doubles to start the ball game. Add a couple more RBIs to his total. He's now up to 17. Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, is on his way out. 4 runs, 5 hits in just an inning and 2/3 off Mark Hendrickson.
And the last 3 runs, as we look at Brian Bass, who's pitched pretty well. Numbers won't really indicate it, but lately he's been a star. He's getting loose. But the last 3 runs were 2 outs. And the one guy that he really needed to get out, he couldn't, and that was Deanna Navarro.
Now a runner at second base, still 2 away. 8th Ray to hit in the inning. And it's Longoria, fly to center, his first time up. He will take the breaking ball for a strike. Evan Longoria, another RBI chance, 44, leading the majors on the season. Long look back. Here's the 0-1. The name that will be mentioned now is Hack Wilson. The all-time RBI record in Major League Baseball was set in 1930. Hack Wilson had 191 RBIs. It is the 7th oldest record in Major League Baseball at this moment. The longest duration. Swung on and missed. It is very tough to maintain the kind of pace necessary to beat that record. Right now, Longoria is actually ahead of it. Hack Wilson, 33 games, had 35. Longoria, his 31st game, has already got 44. But imagine trying to do this throughout the rest of the summer. 1-2 breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Markakis looking up. That's going to be off the wall. He's going to add another one. Great play by Markakis to hold him to a single. Longoria drives in the run, and it is 5-1.
Yeah, you can't throw fastballs with average stuff and hanging breaking balls and expect to get a good hitting team out, and that's exactly right here. Good pitch for strike two. You come back with another one. Watch it hang. And he hits it off the right field wall like he's just Little League. And you know, Nick, of course, is Nick, so 17 assists, plays it perfectly. But look at this. Again, the Exmo. Bad head to the ball. I think the one thing that when you talk to people, whether they pitch against him or they've seen him play, hitting the ball to right field with much more authority, especially up in the zone.
That is hit number 6. 5-1. That one hit in the air to right field, right at Markakis. And he's got it, and Pena is retired. But a big inning as the Rays bat around. They will put 5 runs up on the board and lead it 5-1. Fares, no hidden fees. And by PNC. PNC leading the way. Extra sauce, please.
Oh. They do look good, don't they?
They do look very good.
I bet they smell good. But the wind's not blowing into the booth today.
No, then we couldn't work. Then I'd have to go out and
you'd be gone.
Go out there and do it from out there.
Well, Harry Carey used to do it for
That's right.
Center field. Yeah. That's closer to the ribs. Boog's Barbecue.
That's right. Because Harry wasn't after the ribs. It was the adult beverage that went with it.
Well, how else do you broadcast for 50, 60 years?
Line them up, sports fans. Yeah. Melvin Mora, a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Montañez and then Zahn. Mora shatters the bat and gets a base hit.
Well, that's how the inning started for the Rays with Ibar. And one of the few jam shots, softly hit balls. He fought it into right field. Same thing for Melvin Mora, who over the weekend started to swing the bat a little bit better. A couple of bunts for base hits. You know, getting back to, I don't know if he's going to be back where he drove in 57 runs in 48 games, but he was as good as anybody. Barry Crowley, his hitting instructor, said this. And I said, "Do you look at film?" He said, "Nah, he's getting pretty close."
Good. Orioles need his bat. Montañez is the designated hitter in this ball game. Good news on Luke Scott today, that Luke's not going to have to go in the DL. We'll have an update on that coming for you a little later as well. 2 for 3, a home run, 2 RBIs, raised his average 45 points. That's what you can do when you have only 33 at bats.
And then changed his number
to 2. In the air to right field, going. Kapler's not going to get to it. That'll hit at the wall. Coming around third, Melvin Mora. They're going to wave him home. Mora still chugging. He'll reach standing. And the Orioles get one of those runs right back on a double by Montañez, 5-2.
Now remember, the league average coming in against Sonnenstein was .397 by right-handed batters. Moore with a single, just a fastball to a young fastball hitter. So he goes from 14 to 2. He said, I just wasn't feeling number 14. 2 works. Kapler, not great range in right field. And Melvin Moore, you can still see him a little tender with that hamstring that kept him on the disabled list.
And that look brought to you by Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse. So on at second base, Montañez. The Orioles now 2 runs, 3 hits. This game may get to the bullpens in a hurry. Zahn will take the pitch down low.
And Johnny's job, and you can see how great a May he's had, get him in or get him over. Hit the ball to the right side. Try to do it productively as far as also getting the base hit.
He's hitting 6 for 10 off Sonnenstein. He said good luck against the Rays right-hander. 1-0 delivery. That'll miss outside. 2-0.
Sonnenstein, who's pitched very well in his last 2 starts. Great up in New York. I saw the Boston game down in Tampa Bay. He ended up winning that game. Gave up 2 runs. Didn't have great command. Didn't have great stuff, but again, changes speeds, doesn't throw the home run ball too often. Only 2 all the years. Does a lot of things well.
Montañez off second base, swung on and missed. It's games and moments like this where Oriole fans rise up in their seat a little bit and look ahead and can't help but think, if we only had a couple of starters who could hold us in a ball game. This offense can score runs, but you can't be giving up 5 runs in the second inning and be doing it continually in ball games. 2-1 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into right center field. Montañez the turn. He's coming. Here's the throw by Kapler. It's there, and he is out.
You cannot send him because he didn't get a good read. Oh, down by 4 runs. We'll actually make it 3 runs either way. Nobody out. And again, Kapler, not great range going back. But watch this throw. Right on the money.
Good block of the plate by Navarro.
Well, he has plenty of time to do it. And that makes it a lot easier. You know, Lou Montañez is going, where am I going to slide? Well, and again, when you get to block the plate, you give him the outside corner and then you just take it away from him.
You literally, as Hickey's out to talk the pitching coach, you literally saw Montañez waver when he was getting to the plate. Do I go right or left?
And he really doesn't have any place to go. You know, that's not Mike Scioscia, where he'd be about 2 feet up the baseline and you had no chance to get to home plate. But again, you usually, you know, he gave him probably no place to go, but a lot of times you'll make the runner think you have the outside corner, slide that foot in, especially when you get an early throw from Gabe Kapler, as Navarro did.
Runner at second base, 1 away now. PA will foul it away.
Well, what did Rick Dempsey say in the opening? Well, because we saw Adam Jones on Sunday steal the bag, so his ball 4 slid into second, but overslid the bag. Jeter tagged him out. The base running has to get better. You can't run yourself out of innings. Now, you still have a runner in scoring position, but you should have runners at second and third and nobody out.
PA hitting 183. Will take it inside. Felix PA 2 for 3 Sunday. He hadn't played since Wednesday. Now gets right back in the ball game here with Luke Scott out. PA's making the start in left field, and Montañez is in the DH role for this ball game. Sonnenstein touched up now for 4 hits.
And Felix still looking for that first hit with a runner in scoring position. 0 for 13.
A little late again. Fights it off into the seats. 1 and 2.
I think for Felix, and you know, when I pitch against young hitters, you had a pretty good idea. Okay, did he hit the fastball well? I think PA probably is a better fastball hitter than a breaking ball hitter. But all of a sudden, when you get so many breaking balls, you forget why you got here in the first place or why you hit 299 in the minor leagues. So you're always in between pitches. But what they try to do, and we talked to Terry Crowley, the Orioles hitting instructor, try to shorten the swing so he can wait a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, you got to go back, even though the pitchers are better up here, and figure out how you did in the minor leagues and try to bring that and that confidence to the major league level. And it's tough when you're not playing regularly.
2-2 is up high. 3 and 2. He's got to keep the ball out of the air.
Yep.
I mean, and he may want to think he can hit home runs, but that's not going to be the case here. So he's got to put the ball on the ground. He has real good speed, or try and get those line drives into the outfield. 3-2 count, runner at second, one away. And up high, Sonnenstein hurting his own cause. So the Orioles have had 4 up and 4 on, but for the out at the plate. That'll bring up his Turris.
Well, Juan Samuel doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes, but again, sending Montes with the scoreboard the way it is, it wasn't a good one. And then, of course, Kapler made an outstanding pitch. You're not putting it on him because I don't think Montes got a very good read on the ball, but especially early in the game, you hate to run yourself and give them the extra outs. You don't want to give the other team extra outs, and you don't want to.
Bunted and picked up. Foul, Longoria. So as Turris trying to bunt his way on with a base hit in the number 9 spot.
Well, that should be part of his offense. Can steal bases, switch hitter, and if this ball is fair, it's a base hit. You can see Longoria, and he's going to pick it up the minute it gets foul. He was already anticipating that he might bunt, but a good one still would have enabled Cesar to beat it out.
As Turris has put almost all of his offensive numbers together against left-handers. He's hitting .444 off lefties and only .159 off right-handers. That's another reason why he tried to lay the bunt down. He will take this pitch down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count. As Turris has upped his average, though, .244. 4 doubles, home run, 10 RBIs. He can get around that .260+ mark and play the solid short. The Orioles will have what they wanted. Fouled away, 1-2.
But what he has done well is hit with runners in scoring position. You know, .281, so he is above his seasonal average in that capacity. The Orioles came in as a team almost hitting .300, .299. Awfully good. They hit well with bases loaded. They hit well with runners at third base. All those numbers are outstanding for this Oriole offense.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery to him. That's going to be down the line, but it'll curve foul. He got out in front of that one a little bit and broke his bat.
Well, you need the luck of the Crawford. Carl Crawford slicing that line drive just out of the reach of diving Felix P.A. last inning. When you throw those pitches, sometimes you stand on the mound and you're going, please go foul.
As Turris knew that one was going that way. Almost right off the bat. Sonnenstein, 1 ball, 2 strike count on his Turris. Zahn's on at second base. PA's on at first. Here's the 1-2 delivery. May have been outside, but he protected and fights it off. Sonnenstein lost to the Orioles in the first game as he gave up 5 runs, 8 hits, and 4 2/3. His lifetime record is 2-3 against the Orioles. Here at Camden Yards, this is his 4th start. He is 1-2 in the previous 3 with a 5.3 ERA. Grounded towards the hole. Diving Zobrist can't get it. Here's a run coming in. No. Not going to chance Kapler again. So getting back to the bag was Zahn. Now they're loaded with 1 out.
Takanori Iwamura, he's going to eat this ball up, but he's taking the night off. I mean, that ball just should have been caught. He doesn't catch it. Again, playing all over the place. Glove there. I don't know how he off the webbing of the glove.
Boy, what a chance for the Orioles. 5 runs surrendered in the top half of the inning. They've gotten 1 back. And now with only 1 away, the base is loaded. Brian Roberts grounded out his first time up. Brian taking for a strike. Brian's 1 for 1 with the bases loaded this season. Picking up a couple of RBIs in his career, the 3 grand slams. Orioles have used, as Jim said, the bases loaded situation to their advantage, hitting .450 with the sacks full this year. The 0-1 delivery. Roberts will fist it. Sonnenstein coming at him, and a 2-strike count. Now the Zahn single put him at third. Pierre got a walk. He's at second as Turris his single. on at first, and now the battle engaged. Roberts and Sonnenstein. Bryant has had 6 hits in 14 at bats against the Rays starter.
Yeah, I think he'd settle for a fly ball here of any depth.
Gets that one in the air, not deep. Upton started back. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Throw to second, and they get the force out. Well, Torres did not slide even.
Well, that's again a horrible base running because you're going halfway. I mean, you can't go too far because if he catches it, maybe there's going to be a play at first. But again, the play's in front of you. You got to get a feel. He went back. You can see. I mean, this is just a horrible base running inning for the Orioles. Ball drops. Bartlett can't get it. Nice heads up play by B.J. Upton.
Zobrist, the second baseman, get over there to cover the bag. So the Orioles' 2 outs in this inning have come on the base pass, 1 at the plate, and now 1 on a force play at second base. It is a 5-3 game. An RBI credited to Brian Roberts. Sonnenstein not getting anybody out but for the Orioles base running. Now there are 2 down. Adam Jones, a home run, his 7th, came in the first inning. Now has a 4-game hit streak. Runners at first and third, and there are 2 down.
How often you get 5 straight hits and a walk mixed in between and only have 2 runs? It doesn't happen too often.
No.
It almost looked like Carlos Pena was trying to explain or look to Brian Roberts and said, how did this happen? What's going on here?
1-0 delivery outside. B.J. Upton on that. I don't know if he didn't see it in center or what, but he got no jump on the ball and kind of waited to see where it was going to come down. He never moved towards the ball at all.
Yeah, they call it a drop step, where you take that back foot drops because you don't get a good read on it. Look at the numbers for Adam Jones. 9 for 21 on his homestand. He's been red hot.
2-0 count on him. A big cut. He was trying to tie the ball, get a lead right there. If he could have connected on that one. 2-1. Couple on here in PA and Roberts. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles down just by 2 now. They came in trailing 5-1. They've gotten 2 of those back. 2-1 delivery. That's down low, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Jones 4 for 6 off Sonnenstein, including the home run. That may be one of the reasons Sonnenstein being very careful there, but you got Nick Markakis waiting on deck, so you can pitch from troubled waters into a storm. 3-1 delivery. That one drilled in the air, left field, way back. Goodbye, home run. He's got 2 in the ball game, 8 on the year, and the Orioles go back on top by 1.
That's 1 less than all last year. Curveball for the home run the first time. Here we go, Exmo. Now the bat may be Exmo, but the ball isn't. What a screamer this is. And still nobody up in Tampa Bay's bullpen. The Orioles have action.
Orioles take a 6-5 lead. Here's Nick Markakis with the bases loaded and nobody on. Jones with 2 home runs in the ball game, number 7 and 8, a 4 RBI day. He now has 25. Sonnenstein, the 0-1, Markakis a floater strike. So the Orioles come right back and answer a 5-run second inning, and against Sonnenstein the Orioles have put 5 up of their own. A 10-run second inning. Missed outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, one of our PNC keys to the game scouting report for pitchers, bird feed. As we look at the bird, 2 and 3 with a 7.11 ERA. That's gone up for Sonnenstein against the Oaks.
Jammed, really jammed, and fouls it off. Stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Well, what an inning for the Orioles offense. The ever smiling self-defined inner city kid,
yeah, exactly.
as he said in the Sunday column. Fouled away. It'll stay at 1-2.
I said, well, were you around the Inner Harbor yesterday? He said, no, actually I went down to University of Maryland. We got invited down by one of the Bat Boys. We watched some of the University of Maryland basketball players, some of the pros. Kevin Durant play.
That would be Adam. High in the air to right field. Nick Markakis at the wall, and with room, it's put away by Kapler. Markakis just missed. The Orioles send 8 to the plate in the second inning, highlighted by the 3 RBI homer by Jones, up by 1.
I don't know. I'm speechless. Sonnenstein comes in at 1-3 with an ERA of close to 6 runs a game. He's a command guy. Henriksen, a command guy. He's 1-4 with an ERA of over 5 runs a game. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays, they've just played 9 out of 11 against the Red Sox and the Yankees. You know they're tough enough. I'll tell you what, you have 2 real good offensive teams. So far, the pitching hasn't been very good, and they're taking advantage of it.
And now it will be turned over to the bullpens, Jim, as Brian Bass is going to come out of the pen and relieve here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and if you could look at the numbers, they've gotten a lot better. He changed his windup, try to get a little bit more closed. Very bad numbers against right-handers. They're hitting 450, but lefties are at 209. So, again, if the Brian Bass from about a month ago shows up, the onslaught will start. But I tell you, he's been very good his last 3 starts.
So
last 3 relief periods.
Now the bullpens of both of these ball clubs are going to be decisive in this ball game to try and shut down these offenses. And Jim, you've been on the mound when it's happened. When offenses get going like this, sometimes it's hard to shut them down.
Well, again, I think you sit out there. If you're Brian Bass, you're saying, you know what, Henriksen, I'm watching the game. He's not making it the pitches he wants to make. Maybe the command not as good. I throw 92, 93. I can sink the ball. I'm working on my changeup. And I guess maybe it's not going to end.
Well, here we go again.
You just got to look for good things, but it usually starts with trying to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. And if that doesn't change, we're going to be here for a while tonight.
So a leadoff single, and both of these clubs apparently have come from the day off with bats ready to go, and we'll see how long this goes on. Somebody's got to be able to hold this down, but whether it's going to be Bass or not, we're about to find out. That is hit number 7, put on the board by the Rays. The leadoff man on base, and they of course batted around in that last half inning. So this is already the 3rd at bat for Tampa Bay as the players go through the lineup here. Ben Zobrist flied out to center field his first time up. Ibar is on, is now 2 for 2 in the ball game in the DH role. Bass with a 1-0 delivery to him, maybe a chance for 2. Bass 1, and they get the out. Second base umpire Jerry Crawford immediately saying he dropped it, trying to get it out of the glove, so they get 1.
Yeah, and the only reason he dropped it is because it's a horrible throw. I mean, this is tailor-made. Get the ball, you work on it every day of spring training. And again, if you want to win games, you have to make these plays. It's not really that difficult. Perfect pitch, sinker down and away. You made your pitch, flips the throw. Misturis maybe a little late getting there. Had plenty of time. He has to reach, can't get a handle on it. Instead of 2 outs, they're still in the inning.
And now Bartlett will stand in with a runner on at first base. Jason Bartlett had a double. He scored his first time up. Bass will step off and look back. Bartlett now with a 5-game hit streak going, hitting at .357 and 13 RBIs. Bass uses that high set and gets the foul ball.
Yeah, what he found, and we talked about the numbers a lot better lately, is the fact that he would fly open. You'd see the ball wouldn't sink. You know, amazing. They got him from Minnesota last year when all the Oriole pitchers had shoulder problems. He had pitched in 44 games for the Twins. But again, north and south, maybe staying closed a little bit longer. He's got good stuff. And if he gets his mechanics good, the ball seems to sink. His slider's a little bit better. He's got a changeup, can throw strikes. You know, a guy that can probably pitch 3, 4, 5 innings for you. I mean, the ideal long man if his mechanics stay sound.
That's what the Orioles need in this ball game. Opponents hitting .329 off Bass. Hendrickson working only a couple of innings. That's going to be caught, and a double play. Tip of the cap to Aubrey Huff at first base. The line drive. Bartlett positioning because he was holding, put him right there. The Orioles lead it by 1.
An MRI that he injured on Sunday when he dove back into first base trying to avoid that pickoff attempt. He jammed his shoulder, was feeling a lot of pain, but he will not go on the DL. The MRI was negative, no structural damage. He'll undergo treatment, and then he's expected to be back in the lineup against Kansas City. Gary?
That is certainly good news for Luke and for the Orioles. So no decision about a change in the roster has to be made. Luke will be on the trip to KC. Aubrey Huff. The shift is on. Aubrey called out on strikes his first time up. Sonnenstein, 1 walk, 1 strikeout so far. Huff will rip that one to the corner. That is a fair ball right off the line. Kapler going over to get it into second base. Aubrey Huff. He will go in standing, a leadoff double, and the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, he got called on a 3-2 fastball on the outside corner. He thought it might have been a little bit outside. This time, again, the book on Aubrey is to try to come back, get him to hit something off speed, but they tried to get a fastball by him. It didn't work in the last couple of years. Ever since Aubrey, who started his career with the Rays. And again, tied with Crawford. Crawford broke his RBI record, both of them with 449 RBIs as Rays.
Another chance to score. Orioles with 7 hits. Each team now has 7. Orioles up 6-5. Melvin Mora hitting .300 with runners in scoring position. Led the last inning off with a single. and he came around to score. Adam Jones has had his first 2-homer ball game, has driven in 4 runs in the game, and Sonnenstein could easily have been knocked out of the ball game in that last inning but for the Orioles base running. Slider is in there for a strike, 1-1.
Well, let's see what the Orioles approach is. You talked about the overwhelming offense early on, and then it tapers off only in the 3rd inning. Are we going to hit the ball the other way, make it easier for Montanez, who's waiting on deck, young hitter? Or what's the approach going to be? We always talk about situational hitting. Do you want to get another run on the board, make it easy for the next guy coming up?
There you see the numbers so far. Good for both sides, and a lot of chances early.
And the bullpen now getting active for the Rays.
That ball's drilled to short. One hop, can't get it. That'll go out. Bartlett tried to short hop it. They're going to wave him home. Here's Aubrey Huff. Here's a relay throw to the plate. Not in time. I'll tell you one decision that was made before this game. The Orioles base running was going to be extremely aggressive.
Well, I guess, but you still have to have good judgment. I mean, here's a ball that, look at Aubrey. He stays right there because he thinks it may be caught as a line drive. Now, what kind of jump? Upton's going to hit Bartlett, and they send him. And watch the throw. So again, and may I mind you, there's nobody out. So not your prototypical good jump. One thing about Juan Samuel, he says keep on going, and Aubrey does. And once again, this time Navarro doesn't get the block to play because the throw's late. And don't think that they didn't pay attention the last time. Joe Madden came out to talk to Andy Sonnenstein, and well, Melvin Moore does try to shoot the ball back up the middle.
Melvin gets his 12th RBI of the ball game and 12th RBI of the season, and the Orioles take a 7-5 lead in the game. And that will bring up Montanez. He had a double and an RBI and got thrown out trying to score by Carl Crawford in the 2nd inning. Sonnenstein has got to be close to the end here if he can't start getting people out. Strike on the outside corner. There was a day off yesterday, so the bullpen is rested and available. And Grant Belfort up for Tampa Bay. Montanez with a runner at first. Double play depth for the infield here. Sonnenstein said after his last start that the thing that had made him a better pitcher in his last couple of starts was being aggressive, and that he had to stay that way in this game. Don't nibble.
Yeah, he said he was throwing for spots, and then again he was wild inside the strike zone. It's not about the base on balls, even though he did walk PA earlier in the ball game. Not a guy you exactly want to walk. And he said, I got to start throwing to lanes. I think what happens when you throw to spots, Gary, is that you only throw the ball right to the, almost like you throw it right to the front of home plate instead of throwing it through the hitter.
That's going to be a base hit into left field. Morrow will stop at second base. Montanez is 2 for 2 in the ball game. 3 up, 3 on in the inning for the O's. Tomorrow you can spend your lunch hour with Orioles Reach and reliever Chris Ray at the ESPN Zone Inner Harbor. Chris is going to be on hand noon to 1 to sign some autographs, meet fans. That's going to be tomorrow, noon to 1, ESPN Zone. Hope you'll join Chris Ray and Orioles Reach. For more information, go to OriolesReach.com. Joe Madden is on his way out. That will be it. As Andy Sonnenstein just getting tagged as Mark Hendrickson was. Both starters could not get outs in this ball game. Literally with Sonnenstein, because a couple of the outs he recorded came on the base paths. So Grant Belfort will be coming out of the bullpen. Orioles have the 7-5 lead, 2 on and nobody out. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. And by Honda. You can depend on your Honda dealer for great leases and low financing. With Jim Palmer and Amber Theo Harris, I'm Gary Thorne, and Andy Sonnenstein with a line he would like to forget. He will leave the ball game responsible for the 2 base runners who are on, and the veteran Grant Belfour out of the pen.
Well, last year, I mean, he was just outstanding. One of the premier right-handed late inning relievers. Look at the numbers this year. Comes out of Australia. Played early on for Minnesota, then he was traded to Milwaukee. Tampa Bay got him for Seth McClung back in 2007. He goes 6-2, 28 hits and 58 in the 3rd inning. So, again, a little bit different year. He hasn't been used in this capacity that we've seen. And again, anytime you're in your when you talk about pitching, you're in 11 1/3 innings, 14 games. He hadn't been going a lot of innings, but he has yet to give up an inherited runner. And the Orioles have runners at first and second, nobody out here in the 3rd inning. So a little bit of a departure for Joe Maddon. But hey, this is arena baseball. It's anybody's game, American League style.
He has stranded all 12 inherited runners on the season. 2 on here, nobody out. And that is a strike taken by Zahn. Greg Zahn 1 for 2 against Belfour in his career. The Orioles now have 7 runs on 9 hits. Moore is on at second base. Montañez on at first.
Yeah, last year's in the mid-90s. Hard breaking ball. There's your fastball. Misses. First fastball at 91. And our gun can be a little bit high. At least some teams that come in here think it might be a little bit up. So, again, not that mid-90s fastball. Both fastballs at 91.
Infield trying to find that double play to help out here in the inning while Zahn wants to continue the hot May. 407 in the month coming into today, and he's already added a base hit. Average now at 220. Chops that one off the mask of Navarro, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Zahn.
Well, it's all about adding more runs, especially in this division, especially when you're pitching struggling. And as you said, it's a battle of the bullpens.
And it's so early in the ball game. I mean, we're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-ball 2-strike delivery on the way, and that one fouled away.
Oh, there's that good overhand curveball. And when you talk about bullpens, the Rays are 8th with a 4.24 ERA, and the Orioles, when you talk about relief pitching, they're 9th with the ERA. I don't know if this is right, but that's almost a run higher a game. Running 1.10.
Yep. 1-ball 2-strike delivery, and missed outside with it.
But the problem for the Orioles, and not maybe a problem when you're early in the season, but the Orioles already have the least amount of starters innings per start of any team in the American League, and that catches up with you.
And the most hits per 9 innings. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be ripped foul. And the count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Zahn. Slugfest underway here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards tonight. Count at 2-2. Those bullpens may see a lot of activity before this ball game is over. Or you get someone to holler mercy and just let somebody eat some innings.
Well, I don't know if they have the 10-run rule.
Wouldn't matter because nobody's going to get ahead by 10. It's just going to be tens of runs. You say that, and then you get into these games and nobody scores again.
Well, that is really what Joe Maddon and Dave Tremblay are hoping, that somebody's going to step up out of the bullpen.
2 on, 3-2 counts on, waiting, and reaches and fouls that one right straight back.
And of course, if you're a 2-pitch pitcher and your fastball maybe is not as, doesn't have the velocity, doesn't have the movement, you don't have the confidence. When you go to 3-2 and runners at first and second, you're pretty limited to what you're going to do. Now, I suppose you could throw a curveball here, but it's not his high percentage pitch. Greg Zahn's hitting off the fastball.
3-2 delivery again. That one in the air to center field. Upton backing up all the way to the 1 step shy of the warning track. Mora will move over to third base on it. Zahn retired. There's the first out of the inning.
This is a very bizarre game. I mean, it's on a BJ Upton. He goes, you know what? I don't care if Jason Bartlett came out to be the cutoff man. I'll just throw it over his head. It's like maybe these teams figure out how to play baseball on the off day. It's not like they can't hit. We know they're hitting. All the other little facets of the game. Base running.
Forgotten.
Yeah, hitting cutoff mans. Or men, actually.
So one away, runners at first and third now. Orioles have Mora at third base. Montañez on at first. PA drew a walk and scored. The only walk Andy Sonnenstein surrendered would come around. And the pitch is taken for a strike. One away. The offense is living up to the numbers. The Orioles have the 5th best average at home, hitting .288. They average 5.5 runs a game here, while Tampa Bay in their 5-game road trip, they've been averaging 6.4 runs, hitting .296 on this road trip. So these two explosive offenses have come together at the appropriate time and place for this kind of a ball game.
A confluence of sorts?
Of offenses. I think you got to have 3 for a confluence, but 1 ball, 1 strike, count, 1 down. Off first and third, that'll be fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2.
So now they get where Felix PA gets a couple of fastballs to hit. That's what he does best. As you look at Mora over at third, and Lou Montañez with the new number 2. I told him I was a Hertz guy, actually, myself. Number 1. I don't think he got that, but all right. At least he's hitting. We like that.
The commercial time have changed.
Why'd you change? I just wasn't feeling 14. Oh, see ya.
Gotcha. PA is gone. Called out on strikes.
And he looks at the outside corner. That ball split the middle of the plate. And again, 95, so a little extra on it. But look where the target is. Look where the ball is. And again, when you're a young hitter and you're struggling and you get into where they may throw you a breaking ball, you can't get the bat off your shoulders. You're confused.
Now the 2-out RBI chance for Torres. He singled in his only time up in the ball game. First and third, 2 down now. The Orioles 234 with runners in scoring position and 2 out. Not a bad number.
And look where Longoria is playing right here because of the attempted bunt the last time. And that's why Dave Tremblay asked Brian Roberts just bunt every once in a while. That's where they'll play it. A lot easier to hit it by the third baseman when you're up there. And I know that because I used to have to pitch against guys who could do that.
Open up a few more doors, and Longoria even creeps in on that pitch, and the count goes to 2-0 and it's Torres.
Well, I think because right here you have to take the bunt away from him. You don't want a ball in front of you. So once you show another team that you can bunt and you can do it adeptly, they're going to play in.
2 down. The delivery as Torres takes it to center field. Upton going back, and he's under it. That will retire the side. The Orioles add a run on 3 hits, leave a couple on, and extend their lead to 7-5.
Sports.com for all of your information about the Orioles. Now, Rich Hill, any information regarding him? Dave Tremblay was holding very close to the vest. After tonight's performance by Mark Hendrickson, do you think we'll see Rich Hill up here sooner than later?
I really do, and I was predicting that anyway. It just makes sense for a lot of different reasons. I mean, as it stands right now, right this very second, with us standing here, me towering over you, it's supposed to be Guthrie, Eaton, Uehara, and Hendrickson in those 4 games, but it makes a lot of sense to have Rich Hill go on Saturday. He's been stretched out to 95 pitches. He's allowed 3 runs in 16 in the 3rd innings. I think he threw a bullpen session today, Norfolk. Assuming his arm feels good after that, and he seems to think it will, it has up to this point, you could go ahead and plug him in on Saturday. He'd be going with just 1 extra day's rest. You could move Koji to Sunday, because Dave's already said he'd like to give him 6 days rest when he can, because Koji's used to pitching once a week. He's 34 years old. They're trying to bring him along carefully so that he's fresh in August and September. And it'll be kind of a low-pressure environment for Rich Hill in Kansas City. Not that they're going to throw a parade for him or name babies after him or anything, but it's a lot easier to pitch in Kansas City than it is at Yankee Stadium. So I think it just makes a lot of sense to give him that start and have Mark Hendrickson go to the bullpen, which was supposed to be his role anyway when the Orioles first signed him.
Gary?
Well, just Amber, while you're talking here, the reason play isn't going on, the Orioles don't have a left fielder. Dave Tremblay came out and talked to the home plate umpire, Todd Tishner, and somebody's back in the clubhouse, obviously, trying to get a glove or getting treatment or something to go out into left field as PA had been playing out there. Amber?
All right. Well,
Nolan Reimold's on his way. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think that's already 3 bad jokes, and I didn't even point out the towering over me reference, but I'll get to that in just a minute. Going back to the game, we know it's been a poorly pitched game. We're just getting word, by the way, that Wigington is going to go into left field, so we'll come back with some more information on that in just a minute when we find out what happened to Felix PA.
He may have cleared waivers.
Getting back to the topic of the game, Adam Jones, great offensive game all around, but Adam Jones, 2 home runs. Is it too early, Rock, and I'm throwing this out there, to talk about him in the All-Star voting?
It's never too soon, and every team gets 1 representative at least, so maybe he and Nick Markakis can battle it out. But he's got a career high. Well, his career high is 9 home runs. He's already got 8. So, I mean, he's doing it from the number 2 spot, which is interesting, because I know Dave Tremblay late last year thought that Adam would project eventually as a number 5 hitter maybe, because as he matured physically, became stronger, became more of a run producer, and yet you're getting this production from him in the 2nd slot, and I guess fans could debate, well, why don't you lower him in the order? But he's getting on base an awful lot as well from that spot, and it kind of sets a table. If he's on base, Nick Markakis is going to get a lot of run-producing opportunities. Aubrey Huff's going to get a lot. He is thriving in that number 2 spot, so I guess you leave him there and let him pile up the numbers. And he's one of the top young players in baseball. He was projected by a lot of people as being the guy who'd be the breakout player in the American League, and it's happening right now.
One more quick question. A bit of an omen that there's no left fielder right now. You did bring up Nolan Reimold. Do you think we see him up here fairly soon? I know you were blogging this morning about if Luke went on the DL. Who would we see brought up from AAA? I
think it's more of a testament that Adam Jones has such great range. He can cover center and left field. They don't need a left fielder. But honestly, if Luke had gone on the DL, I think it would have been Oscar Salazar before it would have been Reimold, because Luke on the DL doesn't open an everyday spot in left field. And they want Reimold playing every day, whether it's Norfolk or up here. And I think Salazar's a guy they don't mind if he had sat on the bench and had pinch hitting opportunities, occasional starts. I think Reimold is tied to Felix PA. If and when he goes, that's when you'll see Reimold. And maybe it happens tonight, because Felix apparently is missing in action right now.
All right, and we'll get more information on what happened to Felix PA. You can check him out at School of Rock on MassonSports.com. Thanks, Rock.
Thank you.
Gary.
All right, Emma, thank you. Fly ball out as Kapler is retired. You saw Ty Wigginton come out of the clubhouse and go out into left field. So PA is out of the ball game. Wigginton is playing in left.
Yeah, and you wonder if he hurt himself when he dove for the Carl Crawford double down on the left field line.
That ball lined to center. Jones coming. It's an Adam ball. Navarro's retired, and a couple of fly balls out as Bass has got a chance for a quick inning here. And we want to thank Eric from Newark. The question, is it time for Adam Jones to get a nickname? I propose Adam Bazooka Jones. Well, that obviously relates to his bubblegum blowing.
And the couple of bazookas he's hit tonight and against the Yankees hit the back wall just left of the Oriole bullpen. And the ball didn't get much higher or lower than where it ended up.
Nicknames have kind of become passé in baseball, for better or worse. There was a day where virtually every baseball player at the major league level had a nickname, and it was something that happened right away when you got to the major league roster. Nowadays, really aren't many. Just don't do it anymore.
I mean, there are certain guys like You know, some guys call Nick Markakis Markakis because they can't pronounce his last name. But other than that, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, the days of the Scooter and the Babe and the.
I mean, I call him AJ. To me, he's AJ.
Yep. I don't know. There may be one come along. Ground ball towards short. It stirs up with that. Nobody happier about that quick hitting than the left fielder Ty Wigginton, who didn't have to catch a fly ball or even look at one. Roberts, Jones, Markakis coming up. Fireworks Night VIP Experience Sweepstakes. There'll be one lucky winner, 4 VIP seats. The Tigers game on May 29. It is the first Fireworks Night of the year, and you'll get VIP parking and passes to watch batting practice right from the field. Go to Orioles.com today. Back here at Camden Yards, 7-9-0 for the O's, 5-7-0 for the Rays. Both starters out of there. Sonnenstein 7 runs, 9 hits in 2+ innings, including 2 home runs by Adam Jones, while the Orioles starter Mark Hendrickson 5 runs, 6 hits over 2 innings with a walk and no strikeouts. So the starters not very far into this ball game. Brad Belfour is now pitching, and Brian Roberts up, singled, RBI, 1 for 2 in the ball game.
And again, Balfour did a nice job. As you mentioned, had not given up an inherited runner. Came in with runners at first and second. And got the job done.
Center field busy. Upton. He's got that one. Roberts retired, 1 away. Adam Jones, he's had the magic tonight.
Well, he hits a pretty good curveball. Just goes down and smokes it. And then in the second inning, it's a 3-1 fastball as he's sitting on it. And again, he said he loves this swing because it shows what you try to do as a hitter. Hit the barrel of the bat to the ball. And that's the second one right there. You can see that ball gets elevated. Hitters count. He takes advantage of it. Sonnenstein came in. Righty's hitting 397 off him. And that number, I think, went up.
He'd only given up 1 home run on the season. Sonnenstein gave up 2 in a game to Adam Jones. 0-1 count, taken outside for a ball. A little stomach problem for Felix P.A., we understand, is what brought him out of the game. Though not feeling well. Ground ball to short. Bartlett. Jones is retired. 2 quick outs here in the 4th inning. J.P. Howell in the bullpen. These 2 teams will be playing here again tomorrow night. You keep that in mind regarding your use of the bullpen. Brad Ferguson will make the start, 1-0 for the Orioles against Jeff Neiman, who's 2-3 for Tampa Bay. 7:05 first pitch tomorrow night, and the O's head to Kansas City for 4. Here's Nick Markakis. Nick has flied out once to right and once to left.
So you can kind of see what Joe Maddon's going to try to do, sequence his way through this game. Off day, pitching staff rested.
Zobrist up with the ground ball. And after all of those hits and runs, 1, 2, 3 innings recorded by Bass and now by Belfort. Orioles lead it by 2.
But the fact that a portion of the proceeds from Noah's sales go to benefit autism awareness. And this isn't the only new item at the ballpark this year. There's Monster Nachos, Blazing Cajun hamburgers, buffalo chicken tenders, chicken tacos, and more. So bring your appetite to the ballpark. Gary?
And ribs. And a strike taken at the knees as Carl Crawford leads it off. Already 2 doubles in the ball game. And 2 RBIs. He's got a 7-game hit streak, hitting at .343. And we'll take the pitch outside. Brian Bass working in relief. 3rd inning. But Bass has started, and he's got Crawford, Longoria, and Pena due up against him. Crawford a ground ball. Ryan Roberts. And 1 away and a couple of pitches to start the 5th inning. Online voting, Major League Baseball All-Star Game. You can do it at Orioles.com. Vote orange, save green. Voting for your favorite birds the maximum of 25 times. You'll receive a free upper reserve seat to any non-prime game after the All-Star break. So vote early, vote often. Details at Orioles.com/vote orange. And as you saw, the All-Star ballots here at the ballpark. Taken away for a ball by Longoria. RBI single, and he is flied out. 45 runs batted in now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. We mentioned that the Hack Wilson RBI record 1930, 191 RBIs, the 7th oldest major league record in duration. What is the longest? There you see RBIs through 33, tying Ramirez. Nobody close, though, to Hack Wilson. Swung on a miss. The oldest record is Nap LaJoie's .426 batting average in 1901, which probably won't be broken. But as soon as you say that, somebody comes along and has a .430 season. A chopper foul off his foot in the box, 2-2.
Well, you go back to the 12th of April, Tampa Bay, Adam Eaton started that game. James Shields, who owns the Orioles, started, and Tampa Bay won 11-3. Brian Bass came in relief, threw 4 home runs. Different pitcher now. They changed the mechanics. Front shoulder stays closed. Ball sinks. And he's been very good since then.
What a help that would be in the bullpen for some distance.
Well, he's got starter stuff because he has 3-4 pitches. He's got a curveball, he's got a slider, he's got a changeup, and he's got a good sinker. Now, can you command them and can you stay on top of them, because otherwise the sinker doesn't sink. And that was a day where the ball was, really gusting here.
Longoria towards short is Torres.
Yeah, just count the ground balls when Bass is on his game.
Two down, nobody on. Brian Bass has pitched distances in a ball game, including his high this year, 3 2/3. It came on April 25 against Texas. That's his longest outing of the season, and he may get a chance to equal or surpass that in this ball game because he's got 2 down. He has retired the last 6 batters in a row, and he'll face Carlos Pena. Pena has flied out, grounded out, and the home run hitter takes it down low for a ball. Let's take a look at our leaderboard presented by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Longoria on top. Jason Bay, great year, and there's Pena with 32, not far behind Huff. And Adam Lind, Toronto. Pitch is going to miss outside, and a 2-0 count on Pena. Pena also will strike out a lot. Well, as Pena is second in strikeouts in the American League coming into this ball game. Chris Davis of Texas leads. Did he go? Yes. Bill Kizzy down at third says he went around on it.
And this is what Phil's looking at, and that bat well through the zone.
So a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Bass, they put the shift on. Shortstop is Torres behind second base on him. That's inside. The home run, the strikeout record in major leagues has been broken each of the last 2 years. Ryan Howard struck out 199 times in 07. Mark Reynolds struck out 204 times last year playing with Arizona, and it may be broken again this year. That's going to be a base hit against the shift into the gap, and a 2-out single for Pena.
And the reason they play him is because when you look at his direction of hits, that's now what I guess we could count. That's almost like pulling the ball, but he's got 8 to center, 20 to right, and 3 to left. He's an uppercutter. I mean, he's up there to drive the ball, and that's why he's leading the league in RBIs. 31 home runs last year, 46 the year before. This is a guy you need to get out. He's gotten 2 good pitches to hit. One right-handed, fought it off. Actually put a pretty good 2-strike swing on it, and then a sinker. He likes the ball down and in. There's a good breaking ball. Appears to me to be a much better fastball hitter than breaking ball hitter. And I'll tell you, you could be looking for that curveball. That's how good that one was. I don't think he would have done much with it.
He's hitting .600 in May now, and is up to his overall average to .289. Chases that one upstairs. He has singled twice in this ball game, but Bass has got him in a hole, 0-2.
Because if Bass pitches well, you make a great point, and then you have Baez, and you can get Chris Ray back on track, and then you got Johnson and Sherrill, and you got a pretty good back end of your bullpen. I mean, there are a lot of ifs, but.
And got him looking. The Bass, solid job, retires the side in order each of the last 2 innings. No question about that one. First strikeout.
take a look at our Geico Highways. Adam Jones, again, hot, as is everybody tonight. Crawford breaks the all-time RBI record, double down the left field line, 45th RBI, and then the second home run on a 3-1 fastball off of Sonnenstein. Orioles come back with a couple of big innings for both the Rays and the Orioles, and there you are, 7-5. J.P. Howell coming on to pitch. Balfour and Bass have, it seems, at least to this point, restored pitching sanity in this game.
Good job by Balfour. A couple of innings, 1 strikeout. Now J.P. Howell, 26-year-old left-hander, out of the bullpen, worked against the Yankees on the 7th, so he hasn't pitched. He's had 5 days.
And he
2
was
innings in that game, gave up only 1 hit.
And no runs, and that kind of ended a scheme of giving up runs in 3 out of 4 games. One of the big stories last year is they started him a couple of years before, and then they brought him out of the bullpen last year. He was just outstanding.
Aubrey Huff against him, will ground it down to first base. Backing up is Pena. He makes the flip over to Howell covering, and will get the out. Huff 1 for 3 now. He's had a double and scored a run. 1 away here in the 5th inning. Melvin Moore and then Montañez are due up against Howell, who is making his 15th appearance. 3.65 ERA, no wins, 2 losses. He's only worked 12 1/3 innings in 14 games, so he's been a so-called specialist. But 5 runs on 14 hits and 6 walks haven't helped his cause. Opponents hitting .298 off the lefty.
Yeah, last year
takes it outside.
Excuse me, Gary, but last year led All-American relief pitchers with 89 innings. So he goes from 1-6 the year before, when he had some starts, started 10 games, to last year being in 64 games, all in the bullpen. Flip the numbers. ERA of 2.22. Get his curveball over, change up over anytime. Saw him turn the ball over to Aubrey Huff. 2-seamer, get ground ball. So he's learned how to pitch, and it's only 26, youngest bullpenner for the Rays.
Their numbers are way up, and there's no question when you go the distance they did to the World Series the next year, trying to be that again in any situation is very hard, but especially for the bullpen that gets used as much as it does, has very little rest because the season goes so late and the off season is so short. Joe Madden was saying the other night, so there's no question that's affected us. Says we had to make some changes in the pen, and we may have to make some more, because guys we relied on last year, we're not sure this year.
Yeah, and what they did with their starters, they actually started them pretty slow. WBC and the World Baseball Classic, so you had an extra week or so, 10 days. But again, Howell, one of these guys, he's very deceptive. He's going to fall off. Boy, getting over the front side, and there I go. He obviously could push a bunt. That's why Pena's playing in at first base.
That is a foul ball. Longoria in foul territory, picking that one up. 2-2 on Melvin Moore.
Now, if you had J.P. Howell in Little League, you would say, I want you a little more direct. But the interesting thing to me about pitchers is they all have different windups. I mean, you have the same. It's kind of like a golf swing. When you get close to impact, the club better be on plane. What's your release point? Do you stay closed enough to have some direction? In pitching, of course, you want deception too, so he certainly has that. If you ever looked at him releasing the ball, there's no chance of hitting. But he's all over the place.
2-2 delivery to Mora. Mora in a check swing, fights it off. Melvin's had a couple of hits in 6 at-bats off J.P. Howell, and he protected on that one.
At least he's not like Mitch Williams, where he used to fall down on every pitch.
There was no defense when Mitch got through with that follow-through. 2 ball, 2 strike count. It has been an offensive affair until the last couple of innings when the bullpen has tried to settle it down. 2-2 delivery to Mora. Cranks another one back into the screen. Melvin hanging tough here with 1 down and nobody on in the 5th inning. Orioles have already won 3 out of the 5, including a 2-1 record here at home against Tampa Bay. Orioles against the East. All those big games to be played. You pick them up wherever you can, because it's going to be tough getting wins in the East. Inside fastball on the corner, got him. Mora is gone.
Well, I'll tell you, I think if we go back to the pitch track, and I hope we have it. Take a look right here. I would think this ball is a little bit inside. Well, maybe not. The edge. You got edged, Melvin. Of course, he jumped out of it, and that, away, and then right in on the inside corner, even though Melvin thought that it was off the plate.
And there are 2 down. Montañez, big night, DH, double, single, RBI. Swung out and missed. On those close pitches, as a hitter who I will not identify said to me the other day, I looked back at the umpire and called strike 3. He said it had the black, and I said to him, show me the black. Where's the black? And he pointed down at home plate.
Well,
there isn't any.
Remember the late John McSherry?
That one grounded to short. Yes, I do remember John McSherry, the Major League umpire. Jim's going to tell us a story about him as soon as we come back. That's a tease to keep you listening, so don't go to your refrigerator. Jim will be back. Mr. McSherry next. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and Sunday afternoon. John McSherry, Major League umpire. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Palmer.
Well, what he used to do, and he was a National League umpire before they actually combined the American and National League umpires together, but he would actually start the game. He would sweep the plate off, take a little knife, and go around the corner of the plate and show you that's where the black is. And good pitchers, where do they live?
Right on the ball.
On John McSherry's black edge.
I like it. That's good. Ben Zobrist leading it off. Brian Bass, outstanding in relief.
Well, different pitcher. This is not the guy, at least to this point, and in his last 3, 4, 5 appearances that gave up the 4 home runs. Conditions a little bit better. Ball flying out of the ballpark on that afternoon, but they took advantage of it.
He's working in his 4th inning now in relief.
And Zobrist is one of the guys that hit the home runs. Longoria, of course, he hits them off everybody. Pena, he hits them off everybody. Bartlett, his season high is 7. He's already got 4. He had a home run. And then Ben Zobrist hit another one off of Brian Bass.
Bass with a 2-ball, 1-strike count, and that is hit high in the air, left center field. Jones over.
He dropped it.
Unbelievable.
Well, it's one of those games.
Wow.
I mean, he calls everybody off, and it seemed pretty routine. And again, how does he usually catch the ball? 2 hands. Gusty night. And he just one-handed it and doesn't catch it.
That is something that's been talked about all year. We kind of joked about it on the air, but the 2-handed catch. And Melvin Moore has said to him, there will be a game where you will drop a ball that is as easy to catch as anything you've ever had. John Shelby has told him that, and I think it just happened. Ground ball down to third. Mora will hold the runner. Gets it over to first base in time. Bartlett is retired. Zobrist on with the error at second base.
And your job, as we look at John Shelby, and I played with John, one of the terrific outfielders. He's the first base coach and outfield coach. If you're Brian Bass, you're going to try to pick up Adam. He's already had 2 home runs. You'll learn a lesson. He's 23 years old, won't turn 24. And he doesn't feel good about that.
No.
And it's funny, I was talking to Dave Winfield 2 years ago at the, well, I talked to him last year too at the Hall of Fame, but he was talking about how for a young outfielder, you want to catch the ball with 2 hands, because when you have to throw somebody out, it's a lot easier to do it, because the transfer, kind of like turning a double play at second base, it's easier to get your throwing hand out of the glove.
Kapler, he's going to get a base hit into left field. Zobrist had to delay. Wigginton up. Ty Wigginton in left field for the first time this year for the Orioles, with Felix P.A. coming up. That's the first one he's had to handle. So now first and third with 1 away. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. First and third, and Navarro, who delivered an RBI base hit and scored in the second inning.
Hey, he's had 2 really good at bats, one right-handed, one left-handed. Single and then a singeing line drive to center the last time.
Trying to work himself out of a very poor start, hitting just 188. First and third, 1 away, and the throw over as Kapler is back to the bag. Tampa Bay got 5 runs on 5 hits off Mark Hendrickson, the Orioles starter, in the second inning. Crawford's got 2 RBIs. Navarro has picked up an RBI. Kapler an RBI. Pitches outside. Good stop made. Zahn.
Yeah, Danny Baez, who last pitched in the game on Saturday night and pitched very well, 2 1/3 innings. So again, Bass in trouble, but it should be 2 outs and a runner at first base, which would obviously be much more comfortable than runners in first and third. Navarro a double play suspect if you get him to hit a grounder.
1-0 delivery is going to be fouled off the end of the bat. Navarro does not have speed. He has grounded into just 1 double play this season. He's also struck out 18 times and drawn 1 walk. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Zobrist on at third base. Kapler's on at first. Zobrist on the error. Kapler on the base hit. Each team with 9 hits in the ball game. We are in the 6th inning. Bass's delivery, ground ball. Taylor made his Turris 1 relay over, and Bass picks up Adam Jones. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base. Orioles lead it 7-5.
Minor leagues, it is mid-May, and today the question was asked of Dave Tremblay, when will we see Matt Wieters?
We're aware of what he's doing. I'm sure his time is coming. I just don't know when. But I think we'd all have to be living in a cave somewhere not to be aware of his progress.
Well, if you have been living in a cave this month of May, he has been batting .345. That's why the questions are being asked, Gary.
And they will continue to be asked until he's called up. I mean, it's just a lead story for the Orioles.
Well, he could be the Evan Longoria of the Orioles. Of course, they didn't send out Longoria that long last year, and then he came up, and even though he missed on about a month with the broken wrist, hit 27 home runs. I don't know if Weeder's going to do that. Catching's a little more difficult than playing third base because of the responsibility, but everybody knows it's just a matter of time.
And that obviously is not a Dave Tremblay call.
And the guy at the plate knows that too, Greg Zahn. He's fully aware of that.
Zahn's 1 for 2 in the ball game. He is singled and flied out. Orioles have the 7-5 lead. Left-hander J.P. Howell on the mound. Retired the side in order in the last inning. Zahn Wigginton, who will get his first at bat, and then his Torres are due up here in the 6th inning.
Well, we're seeing Balfour, Bass, Howell with good stuff, making good pitches, and all of a sudden, all the offense, the onslaught of offensive stuff, it just changes. I mean, that's what it's all about. Can you throw more than one pitch over? Can you get it in a good location? Does it have pretty good movement?
1-1 delivery by Howell, and it'll be fouled off. Zahn hitting .240 right-handed and .196 left. His sole home run has come from the other side of the plate. Zahn has added to his numbers in this ball game with a single and a run scored. Orioles have 3 RBIs from Jones, 2 home runs. Roberts has got an RBI, Moore an RBI. Montañez has 1. That one hit in the air as he reached for it. Foul into the seats. And the numerous orange-clad Oriole fans here in Baltimore celebrating Aubrey Huff T-shirt night. And a very comfortable night for the ball game. 64 when we started. Supposed to dip down into the high 40s before the night is over. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Overhand ground ball snagged by Pena, and a great play by Howell to get there and cover it.
Well,
there's the Gold Glove.
Yep, and remember how he falls off towards third base. So for J.P. Howell, even if his potentially Gold Glove, Euclid won it last year, but Pena with only 2 errors, even though he did make a couple of errors against the Orioles. So a long way for J.P. Howell to get there, and you can see Greg Zahn thinking maybe, as we see that in Expo, stays right with it. Just a matter of getting it to his pitcher who beats the runner, and Zahn's going to go into a slide because he's smelling base hit.
Fine play, and that records the out. 1 away. Ty Wigginton. Felix P.A. started in left field. Did not feel well after taking it at bat in the 3rd inning, just a stomach problem, and so came out. Wigginton on, first time in left field. Wigginton mighty happy there's a left-hander out there, hitting .229 off lefties. Ty's average against right-handers so far this season is .182. It is the 4th lowest batting average in the American League against right-handers. So he got in the right game at the right time. J.P. Howell, 1-1. That'll be up high and a 2-ball 1-strike count. Two-one delivery. Wigginton, the off speed. There's that changeup away. 2-2.
Yeah, not a hard thrower, but he started at SC, the University of Southern California, went to Texas, University of Texas, was nominated for the Roger Clemens Award along with Jared Weaver. 15-2 at University of Texas that year.
He got that one to left center field. That is in the gap way back near the wall. It'll take a hop up and over. And a ground rule double for Ty Wigginton in his first at bat in the ball game. And he stung that one.
Again, location. Where is this one? Right in the middle of the plate. Tries to sneak a fastball by Ty Wigginton. Again, you can see bat head to the ball, and it just zooms up the gap. Trying to get a belt high fastball by Ty Wigington. You know, he may not be hitting that many of them, but he's having good swings at them. Just fouling them off and doesn't miss that one.
Now is Torres is 1 for 2 with a single. RBI chance. Longoria moves in at third base on him. He takes that in the air, shallow center. Upton did not have far to go to catch up to that one, and there are 2 down. The Orioles invite all Little League players and coaches to sign up for Little League Day here at Oriole Park. It'll be on Sunday, May 31. Pre-registered Little Leaguers will parade around the warning track of Camden Yards before the Birds' 1:35 game against the Tigers. To sign up your team, contact the Orioles 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com. Brian Roberts, runner on at second base. 2 away. Brian hitting at .284 now. He has singled, a 1 for 3 in the ball game. 13 RBIs. And no insignificant matter here in this game. The chance to get another run across here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. You just have a feeling the scoring is not done in this ball game. 1-0 count.
And again, hitting very well with runners in scoring position.
Taking, nobody covering second. Wigington working a pretty good lead. That's why Navarro came up and at least showed him an arm, because they are not holding him. And with 2 down, he can get a good break.
Yeah, good arm in center, good arm in right. Crawford gets the balls quickly, doesn't throw that well in left. And there's that big curveball. Well, again, you have a big overhand curveball, and you're able to keep it underneath the strike zone. And the changeup to go with it. You've seen the Wigington doubles. The only mistake he's made, that was a fastball in the middle of the plate. Everything else up and in. Changeup fading away, curveball going off the table.
That one actually bounced. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Bryant's had 3 hits off Howell, 3 for 9. Wigington off second base, 2 away, and the 1-2. Tried it again. Bryant wasn't going to bite on that one. Takes it down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Roberts.
Well, it's the perfect time to throw it. The runner is not at third base. You don't have to worry about the ball getting by your catcher, because even if it does, it only goes to third. He's already in scoring position. And for J.P. Howe, that changeup and that curveball are his strikeout pitches. Those are his out pitches.
2-2. Roberts on that changeup goes down swinging. So Howe gets a couple of strikeouts so far. Runner stranded at second base. Orioles with a 7-5 lead. To the run of it, a single would score later in the ball game. Montañez thrown out. A ball that should have been caught wasn't. One that almost made it in didn't. Huff a double play, defensive play. We've seen Pena make a fine play at first base. Runners all over the place for the first 2 innings, but then the bullpen quieted it down. And it is a 7-5 game with nothing coming across since the 3rd inning. And let's check in with Amber.
Baco on MASNsports.com is reporting that Felix PA has been taken to a local hospital after leaving the game with the stomach discomfort that we mentioned earlier. Now, this poses an interesting question. Luke Scott is not available tomorrow. He isn't expected to play until Kansas City, so that will leave the Orioles with a 2-man bench tomorrow if PA doesn't make a quick recovery. So some interesting questions as to how the Orioles will adapt to this situation. Gary?
Yeah, we hope PA is all right, obviously, but it will lead to decisions after they take a look at the hospital. Here's Danny Baez coming on to do the pitching now. Upton at the top of the order will take it for his strike, 1-1.
And boy, has he been good. Danny Baez again, he came in against the Yankees, big lead, only gave up the home run to Swisher. But last 6 appearances, 11 1/3 innings, only the 1 run. And he said, I didn't make a good pitch. He hit it. We all know about Nick Swisher. He can hit. But he has been very special. Power, slider. He's got the splitter, good velocity. Been able to, as he falls behind 3-1, get ahead of the hitters. That's not the case here.
Upton has had a walk and scored. He is 0 for 2 officially in the ball game. 3-1 delivery to him. Upton will take that to center field. He got all of it. Jones going back at the warning track and makes the catch up against the wall. Retiring Upton, who has twice made a bid for his first home run of the year.
Yeah, it appears the ball, and we talked about the blustery wind blowing to left field here tonight. This ball hit well, and again immediately go back, track the ball, get to it, wall and ball at the same time, and the wall doesn't win. And again, plays very shallow, as John Shelby talked about early. Maybe not as.
Play will be made at first base as Huff gets it over to Baez. Crawford is retired. 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning for Baez. And now you got Longoria with 2 down and nobody on. And if he's going to hit against you, that's the way you want him to come up with nobody on.
Well, right here early on, and he will get his 45th RBI. And again, just bat head to the ball. He does it so well. Relaxed swing. What did Carlos Pena said? It almost looks from the on-deck circle he's going to take a nap. He's that quiet. He said he changed his stretch. So we went back, and maybe we can do this tomorrow. He said last year he hit with more of a crouch. And for some reason, he just kind of felt more comfortable, opened his stance a little bit more, hands a little bit higher. Boy, is it working.
1-0 count with 2 down. 10 hits for the Orioles and 9 on the board for the Rays. Baez got him to cut at that one, and he was not close.
Well, when you can combine, as we look at Joe Nelson, the Orioles saw him down in Tampa Bay, when you combine what Danny Baez has been able to do, to throw strikes, to have movement, to have 3 pitches you can get over.
That one to left field, that's going to be a base hit. Chased down in the corner. Ty Wigginton as it dies in the corner, and into second base is Longoria. He's got a double and a 2 for 4 ball game.
Now, Gary, you've been around the game a long time. I can't recall a young high ball hitter as good as Longoria. Look at this. Now this ball is up and in with good late movement, 94 miles per hour, and he can just get the bat to it. Short swing. Everybody talks about how quick his hands are, and he just rolls over it and pings it down into the corner for another double.
Another area where he is the leader. His 16 doubles are also tops in the American League with the home runs and doubles. He's also the #1 slugger and has 27 extra base hits, 7 ahead of his teammate, who's at the plate right now in extra base hits. Pena, the home run leader, represents the potential tying run in this ball game. He's 1 for 3 and takes the pitch down low for a ball. So Tampa Bay trying to battle back here in the top half of the 7th inning. Longoria out there at second base.
Now he's got 3 lifetime home runs off of Danny Baez. Baez's best year Back in 2004, 2005, 41 saves as a Ray.
Pena waiting, shift on, breaking ball inside to him, and falls behind 2-0.
And the one thing you can't do, even though you would bring up the go-ahead run, is you cannot give in to Carlos Pena. Again, the slider, he's got the splitter. That's a pitch he started throwing when the elbow, after coming off Tommy John surgery, felt better in the spring.
Ibar's the man on deck. First base is open. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that's inside, and he's not going to give him anything to hit. And the count goes to 3-0. Baez asking for a timeout.
I mean, it is obviously a calculated risk, but when you have a guy up in the top 4 in RBIs and leading the league in home run, and again, look at the extension. You can see the splitter grip, and you're not going to just throw him a 2-0 fastball. And then you got to assume he's going to be hitting 3-0, so you're going to walk him.
Now the intentional pass will be surrendered, so Pena is on. That puts runners on at first and second with 2 down, and will bring up Ibar. Ibar, the switch hitter, who has had a couple of singles in this ball game, 2 for 3. Kranitz will go out and have a word with Baez now as to how they want to work to Ibar.
And you talked about how hot he was. He came into the game 5 for 9 in the month of May, but he's only 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So again, Pena was hitting a lot better. He was hitting .289. He's got the home run power. Even if Ibar gets a base hit here, he may still maintain that lead. Jim Johnson, who pitched the last on Sunday, gave up a 3-run home run to Johnny Damon.
Willie Ibar will stand in. 2 on and 2 down. Ibar has not faced Baez and vice versa. That's why Kranitz went out to have a word to make sure that he knew what he wanted to throw here, since they face each other for the first time. He starts him out with a strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, 87-mile-per-hour slider. Perfect pitch.
2 RBIs, Ibar in the year, and he grounds that one down to first base. It'll be played by Huff. And the strategy works. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a couple left on base. 7th inning stretch time, brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. Adam Jones in this ball game, and they were Nissan drives. His first 2-homer ball game. Andy Sonnenstein, the starter, gave him up. He had given up only 1 prior to tonight. Get to the Nissan National 10 event for great deals on reliable vehicles. Look closer. Nissan delivers. As Adam Jones has done, it just gets better for the center fielder.
Really is. You know, the only thing he did wrong tonight, dropped that pop fly. Brian Bass picked him up. But again, it's been a battle of the bullpens. Both bullpens have been outstanding. And if the Orioles win tonight, they will have already won for the 4th time Last year, 3-15 against the Rays. So a big game for the Orioles.
And the bullpens for both of these teams have really settled a ball game down that looked like it might just roll on. Joe Nelson coming out of the pen, 15th time. Fewer hits than innings pitched. The big problem, those base on balls.
Yeah, and then he gave up the home run to Brian Roberts, a 2-run shot. So the Orioles saw him. They know he's got a great changeup. As his pitching coach Jim Hickey says, that is his out pitch, his strikeout pitch. We'll see how he pitches tonight.
Adam trying for his third home run right there. Well, both of these teams now have been able to get the ball game back under control as far as the pitching's concerned, Jim, because of the long guys in the game.
Well, you're right, and they brought Balfour in. He's usually a late inning guy. He's been struggling. They bring him in. Howell's good. Bass pitches well for the Orioles. They go to Baez. And the big question, who's going to pitch the 8th inning? And again, I assume we'll probably see Sherrill to close out the ball game if the Orioles have the lead.
There you see the .366 batting average. 2 home runs hit in this ball game by Adam Jones. The Orioles had a chance to put another run on the board, leaving a runner at second base in the last half inning. And Adam Jones a big cut. The Orioles have stranded 3 in the game, 2 in scoring position. Tampa Bay, they've left more runners on, 6 of them in the game, and they've left 3 in scoring position. That's the way you start, because it's much easier to change that position on the ball once you got it in the glove than trying to get that position when it's in the glove. A chopper to short. Bartlett, good quick throw to get Jones one away, 7th inning.
Well, take a look. If you're Joe Nelson, you've been paying attention. Curveball for the first home run, 3-1 fastball. Keep it out of the zone. Miss with a breaking ball. There's your changeup. That's your out pitch. There's another one, and you get the ground ball. And when it's hit to Bartlett, it's usually a done deal. So again, Joe Nelson, he was really outstanding last year with Florida. Apparently said some derogatory things about how few fans they draw down there. And well, the next year he's a free agent. He comes over to a team that bullpen went in 2007. They gave up what, 6.15 runs a game, highest ERA in a bullpen in 50 years. Last year they were down under 4 runs a game. And at least on paper, this bullpen should be better with him in it.
The 1-0 delivered to Markakis. That is up high for a ball. Nick has had an 0 for 3 so far in this ball game. He has flied out twice and grounded out. Still hitting at .344, 6 homers, and 30 runs batted in on the year. Nelson with a fastball in for a strike. Markakis started the day 7th in average in the league. 5th in RBIs. His .392 average here at home, the 5th best home average in the American League. 2-ball, 1 strike count to him. And Markakis takes the off-speed delivery away, so he's ahead on the count, 3-1 with Huff, and then Moore a due up if the Orioles can get an inning going.
Yeah, he appeared to hit it a home run back in the second time up in the second inning. I mean, he drilled one to right field, and Wynn knocked it down, and Kapler caught it on the base of the wall.
Inside corner to him at the knees by Nelson, 3-2.
And once you establish the fact that you will throw that changeup in any count, boy, does it slow the bats down. And again, you would think that would be the pitch he would use right here.
2 solid innings by J.P. Howell. He gave up 1 hit, struck out 2. That one in the air, that's going to be near the wall and off it. Played by Kapler into second base. Markakis, he slides, he's got a double.
Well, there was a changeup. And there was one of the best young hitters in the American League waiting on it. And there you go, 11 doubles this season. Lagoria's what, 16? There's the changeup down and in. Boy, does it speed up the bat. Didn't get it located well, and Nick took advantage of it. And Kapler's been playing that wall well tonight.
Markakis legging that one out, and just to be sure, sliding in as Kapler's throw came in the outside part of the bag. Now Aubrey Huff. So we've combined for 21 hits in the ball game. Orioles now have 11. Leading at 7-5. We've not had a run scored, however. It's back in the 3rd inning. And Nelson in danger of giving one up here with 1 away. Aubrey Huff a double. 1 for 3 in the game. Aubrey quietly 4th in the league in RBIs coming into today's play. and take it inside for a ball.
And Jim Johnson is keeping loose out in the bullpen, so it appears he'll come on to pitch the 8th inning. A lot easier for him with at least 1 or more runs.
Markakis being held close by Zobrist at second base. 1-1 delivery to Huff is away. Aubrey Huff has had the 3rd most runs batted in against right-handed pitchers in the American League. He's got them off right-handers, and he's gotten 20 out of 31 here in this ballpark. 2-1 pitch, and he popped him up infield, second base. Zobrist. 2 down. So Nelson gets a key out right there, and there are 2 away. Now Melvin Mora will try and pick up that 2-out RBI. Orioles started out with a very low number in the month of April, around 200 runners in scoring position and 2 down. They have picked that up this month to 234. Melvin Mora, 1-0 count, 2 down, runner at second base. 7th inning. Mora being played to pull. They give him that first base line, moves Zobrist, the second baseman, over, and Pena, the first baseman, over. 1-0 delivery, way up high to him. 2-0.
I think at this juncture of the game, if you're Joe Nelson, you got a veteran hitter at the plate. You got Lou Montañez, who's swinging the bat well, but he's a rookie on deck. You decide who you want to pitch to. You cannot afford to give up another run. So make your pitches, or you pitch around it. And there we go, outside corner. You don't lay it in there. You never do that anyway. But want to make your pitch, or just pitch around a guy that knows how to hit, handle the bat.
Two-one delivery on the way to Mora, and again will come up high with it, and Mora won't chase. So he takes it to 3-1. A look over by Navarro into the dugout to see if they want to walk him intentionally. Answer is no.
Well, normally when you want to get Melvin out, you try to go up and in on it, but it's hard to do when it's 3-1 unless you're going to come in for a ball.
Gave him one to hit right there and fouled it back. 3-2.
Well, Navarro slid to the outside corner and Nelson threw it down the middle in a hitter's count. And Melvin just swinging under it a little bit.
So the decision was to try and get Melvin Mora, and the count goes to 3-2 with 2 down. Montañez there waiting on deck. Pretty good lead at second. Markakis are not holding him close, so he gets a big jump. And Mora too will pop it up. Catcher Navarro. And he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and another base runner left on. It's still 7-5 after 7. your commitment and the K's for Kids program.
Well, Jimmy Johnson on, and again, the one number that's a little bit alarming, that the right-handers are hitting .357, but if you go back to the game on Sunday, he came in a 3-2 ball game. They got Francisco Cervelli hit a ground ball. Brian Roberts thought the angle took him to the outfield. He did it. He beat it out. Made a great pitch to Damon. Hit an infield hit that Mora couldn't field at third base, and got 3-2 on Damon, and he homered over the right center field fence. Even though it looked like Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, missed a pitch to get the count to 3-2. So pitching very well. He's only given up runs in 3 of his last 14 appearances.
Ben Zobrist will lead it off. Zobrist hitting at .257, playing at second base tonight. Switch hitters reached on an error, hit into a fielder's choice and fly to center field, so officially 0 for 3 in the ball game. As Baez worked an inning, gave up 1 hit and 1 intentional walk. 0-1 delivery by Johnson is way inside. Zobrist had a jackknife away from that one, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, the one thing he wasn't able to do with that 1-run lead on Sunday is use all his pitches. And if you look at the numbers this year, lefties don't hit him well, only 4 for 27. That's 148, but the righties hitting, again, a couple of infield hits the other day, 10 for 28.
1-1 delivery on the way is taken down low. 2-ball 1-strike count.
So you set up the whole game right here to get Jim Johnson to pitch in the 8th inning, and hoping to get to your closer in the 9th.
Two-1 delivery. Zobrist will fight that one off. Count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tampa Bay's had their chances. They've had runners on each of the last 3 innings, including getting a runner into scoring position in each of the last 2. But the Orioles have been able to shut it down. Bass, Baez, and now Johnson out of the pen after Mark Hendrickson charged with a 5-run 6 hits over just 2 innings. And Andy Sonnenstein on the Rays side, not much better. 7 runs, 9 hits in 2 innings, and both home runs hit by Adam Jones came off Sonnenstein.
See, and there was the dilemma. You saw the first pitch that Greg Zahn called was a fastball away, because the pitch before that he fouled off was 96, and he didn't get to it. But he threw a changeup and missed, and now all of a sudden you're 1 ball away from putting the tying run at the plate.
Inside corner strike got him, and there's a big K as he comes back. Johnson gets the strikeout. 1 away. Time for you to vote for your AT&T Player of the Game. Candidates tonight: Jones 4 RBIs and 2 home runs in the game. Montañez, he has delivered an RBI, a couple of hits, and Bass, a great job out of the bullpen.
Well, how about this? 96 on the inside corner.
You can text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game, A, B, or C, to 51862. Here is Jason Bartlett. Only 2 strikeouts by Oriole pitchers tonight. Bass had 1. Johnson picks up 1. The 4 pitchers that have worked for Tampa Bay have only 4. There haven't been a lot of strikeouts, nor have there been many walks. Only 2 by the Oriole pitchers and only 1 by the 4 Rays pitchers. Bartlett fights it away. He's double scored, hit into a double play, and grounded out.
So Melvin Mora will move back. He was up even with the bag because of the fact that Bartlett already with what, 8 to 10 infield hits. You can move back a little bit. 2-run lead allows you to play off the line, play where you should play, where you think he. And again, trying to get him out with something other than the fastball. Curveball misses. So again, we went back to the scouting report. Real good fastball hitter. Big question: can you get your breaking ball over, or is your fastball good enough to get him out?
2-ball 2-strike count with 1 away. Johnson is appearing in his 3rd game against the Rays this season. He has given up a couple of runs on 2 hits in 2 innings in games previously worked this year. And he's looking for a little retribution after the home run Johnny Damon had in his last outing. 2-ball 2-strike count. And that one to center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So again, Tampa Bay will get the potential tying run up as Bartlett delivers his 2nd hit, and Kapler coming up.
Actually, they're going to pinch hit with Gabe Gross, Gary, as they go to the bench. There's Gross with all kinds of game-winning hits for him last year. Another guy, along with Eric Hinsky, part-time player that really gave them a good bench. And Joe Madden. Rick Kranitz out to talk to the battery mates.
Want to remind you, on Wednesday, June 17, the first 25,000 fans 15 and over at the Mets game against the O's here at Camden Yards are going to receive an Adam Jones bobblehead. And this is a unique bobblehead. It features Adam leaping for a catch against the center field wall. He repeated that for you tonight so you'd be able to see it live while blowing a bubble. In order to be a collectible, it needs to be unique. This one is unique. You can get your tickets in advance, 888-848-BIRD, or go to Orioles.com. So Gross will come up, premier pinch hitter, 0 for 3 this season as a pinch hitter. And he will take the pitch inside for a ball. Gross overall with a .265, a home run, 5 RBIs, and a couple of doubles on the season. A 1-out single by Bartlett, giving Tampa Bay the chance again to cut into that Orioles 2-run lead. Good lead over there by Bartlett, but you certainly wouldn't think he's going anywhere. Johnson, though, will step off.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that would be the case, but the way Joe Madden sees it, again, 53 out of 60, so really high percentage. If you think you're going to make it, you got George Sherrill now, because you're starting to turn the lineup of. If Sherrill's going to be your closer, you figure you may get Longoria up there. So if you think that Johnson is deliberate to the plate, he is 6'5". Greg Zahn, quick release, not a lot of arm strength after the elbow surgery. If it's a running situation and you have a very adept runner, 7 out of 8, and Bartlett at first, you may send him. You do stay out of the double play. And this is a running count because Johnson has to throw a strike. Gross, of course, doesn't have to swing.
Center field, Jones moving over to left. So Gross is retired, 0 for 4 now as a pinch hitter, and there are 2 down with Bartlett going back to the bag.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, as we mentioned, 6'5". Last year they lengthened the stride. You know, a lot of times if you're tall, you'll shorten your stride to get over your front side, but for him, it allowed the ball to sink more. And he had a marvelous year for the Orioles.
Toronto's beaten the Yankees tonight 5-1 as they're playing in Toronto, and Toronto's got a great home field advantage.
I would imagine that's Halladay over Burnett, so he's now 6-1, along with Zach Greinke of the Kansas City Royals.
Toronto has now gone 12-4 as a home record. They've also won 11 games on the road. They are leading over Boston by a game starting the day. First place in the East. Runner goes down low. Throw is not going to be in time. Tough one to throw on, and Bartlett is 8 out of 9 now as he gets the stolen base.
Well, part of being a good manager is to know your personnel. So again, you pick the guy that's pitching. You pick the runner that you know can make it. You've already timed Jimmy Johnson. You know how deliberate he is to the plate, what the time zone is. You've already timed, your scouts have timed Greg Zahn. So for guys that can run, it's almost an exact science as long as they don't slip or fall down.
Puts a runner in scoring position. Dan Wheeler in the bullpen. Navarro, 2-0 count, 2 away. He has a single and an RBI, 1 for 3 in the game. Hitting just 186 on the year. And he'll foul that one back in a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Bartlett trying to get as far off as he can. 14 straight games now. The Rays have picked up a stolen base this season and well on top in the American League in steals.
And that's 30 steals in those 14 games.
You compare what they've gotten, 54, to what they've given, 21. And you can see why stolen bases just may matter.
Well, Joe Madden will tell you it puts pressure on the defense. If you have a guy like Carl Crawford, he's 22 out of 22. Every single is a double. If he gets a second, you got to worry about him stealing third.
Johnson, the 3-1 delivery. And again, Navarro fighting it off. Holds the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Jimmy Johnson, real good fastball tonight, right at 96. That is the only pitch he's been able to throw over, so they're sitting on the heater. BJ up and looking on. No, maybe not.
3-2 count, 2 down. Bartlett off second base. Orioles up by 2. And a turnaround to try and get him back, just trying to prevent a big jump here. It would cut it to 1 if Navarro could get him around, and the 2 away. Bartlett off on contact. Zahn set up away, and it's down low and walking. This has been tough for Tampa Bay, with Navarro down at the bottom of the order, not hitting at all, and Upton at the top of the order, not hitting at all. They're just hoping that both can get it started again. Tonight a walk, 0 for 3 for Upton, and batting just 162.
Well, they're awfully young players. They're both in their mid-20s. And Navarro's coming off a 295 year where he not only hit for a lot of power, but good on-base percentage. Terrific job behind the plate. You're not going to give up on him. And
that one chopped towards short. Force at second base as Torres goes to Roberts, and that's that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Orioles lead it 7-5. Of the game right now, the man with the 2 home runs, Adam Jones, is on top. You can text in your vote A, B, or C to 51862. The results on O's Extra on the post-game show. There is Adam. 4 RBI ball game and a 2-homer game for him. Gross stays in the ball game after pinch hitting for Kapler. Takes Kapler's position in right field. And Nelson will stay on to do the pitching. Gave up a double in the last inning. Montañez, Zahn, and Wigginton will be due up against him. Each team 11 hits. The Orioles 0 with 7 runs and a 2-run lead. Montañez has doubled, singled. He has picked up an RBI in the ball game. The DH role with Luke Scott not available tonight, but the good news, won't have to go on the DL and will be playing in Kansas City. The bad news, Felix Piet came out of the game with some kind of a stomach problem, taken to the hospital. No update on that yet as to whether or not he is going to be available tomorrow. Breaking ball, foul back.
Yeah, pretty good slider to hit, and there's all runs. All 12 of these runs scored in the first 3 innings. And the bullpen has come in and done a terrific job for both teams. As you mentioned it early on, battle of the bullpens. But really, it was the battle of the starting pitching, because neither of the bullpens have.
Short battle.
Yeah, well, it was.
0-2 delivery, and he went way upstairs on that one. And Montañez a strikeout victim.
Well, veteran pitcher and young hitter. You get a couple of pitches to hit, maybe one or two early on, and then to see if you'll chase, and he does.
One down, bottom of the 8th inning. Greg's on. A single, run scored in the 2nd. He has flied out and grounded out since. And Nelson's pitch misses down low for a ball. When the Orioles move on, it'll be a 4-game set in Kansas City, another one of the surprise teams in Major League Baseball. We'll be bringing you those games from KC Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and Sunday afternoon. Nelson missing with that, 2-0. Jeremy Guthrie and Gil Mesh will kick it off. Adam Eaton gets Zach Greinke, who's 6-1. Koji Uehara against Kyle Davies, and Mark Hendrickson, who started tonight against Luke Hochevar. Although whether Mark Hendrickson is actually going to be in the rotation come Sunday remains to be seen.
And when you go into Kansas City, they have, at least at this point, the best pitching in the American League.
And that has won them some ball games. 3-0 count. It's taken for a strike.
Well, what a surprising year. And their young third baseman Gordon is out for a while with a hip problem, similar to, I guess, what Alex Rodriguez had.
Walked him. Nelson surrenders the walk. The Orioles have gained only 2 walks in this ball game. PA drew the other one in the 2nd inning and would score. Now Wigginton. Joe Madden, though, is coming out. Dan Wheeler's been ready in the bullpen, and he's going to make the change. So with the ball game still very much to be contested, with Tampa Bay getting a shot at it in the 9th. Madden's going to try and match up here to shut down the O's in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Orioles lead it 7-5. Dan Wheeler will come out of the bullpen with 1 away and a runner on at first base, and he will face Ty Wigginton.
Well, you can look at the numbers last year. One of the outstanding pitchers out of their day. They picked him up in late 2007 at the trading deadline as they were trying to reconstruct their bullpen. And last year he had 13 saves and 18 opportunities. Troy Percival, who's 5 for 5 as a closer this year, all kinds of injuries, knee, back, and so forth. He couldn't even be able to pitch in the postseason, so Wheeler came on and assumed, I guess, really closer by committee, and he did a nice job. This year it's been a little more of a struggle. Had not been scored on in the last 5 appearances on the road, but Damon hit a home run to tie it up in New York off him, and then had some big games early on, both against the White Sox and the Yankees, where he gave up a bunch of runs, so the inflated ERA that we saw.
Wheeler, left-handers 350 off him, right-handers only 192. He has surrendered 4 home runs, 2 to each side of the plate. Ty Wigginton faces him, runner at first, and one away. And Wigginton will take the breaking ball for a strike. Orioles trying to add to their lead here in the 8th inning, with Tampa Bay getting the middle of their order with Crawford, Longoria, and Pena scheduled to come up in the 9th inning. So no easy task for George Sherrill, who probably is going to be coming on to try and finish it up. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Another slider away, and I mean away, 0-2.
And a good one. The one thing, I mean, he's a pinpointer. He's going to throw 88, 89. He can command the ball down and away. That's why the number is so good for him against right-handed batters. But this slider and the fastball, slider just looks like a fastball out of your hand and then slides away from you if you're right-handed. And you could see that one very difficult to cover, that outside corner for Ty Wigginton.
Wigginton 0 for 4 off Wheeler. Got one up in the air. And a pitch that was up around the eyeballs. In center. Upton will put that away for the second out. Ty Wigginton, a double and a fly ball out in his 2 at-bats in the game. And Cesar Torres coming up. Torres has flied out to center twice and delivered a single and scored in the 2nd inning. Torres with 2 down. He's faced Wheeler a couple of times and has gone 0 for 2 against him. On at first base, Zahn, who drew the walk. Nelson worked an inning and a third, a walk, a strikeout, and a hit, responsible for the runner at first. Fastball strike outside corner to Torres. So George Sherrill is up in the bullpen, getting ready to come on and try and pick up a save if the score stays as it is. Wheeler, here's the 0-1 delivery. Popped him up. Catcher Navarro called off. Played by Pena, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. 3 outs away. The Orioles look for Sherrill to get the save. On a beautiful evening in the Inner Harbor, it is 7-5. Orioles lead it, 3 outs away from getting the win. Montañez will move into left field out of his DH role to take over for Wigginton, and George Sherrill, who's 5 out of 7, will try for number 6.
Yeah, dominates left-handers. Crawford will lead it off. He's trying to get on base. Only 13 walks for Carl Crawford, 135 at bats versus George Sherrill. Again, the lefties 2 for 18. Righties, a little different story. 15 for 39. So again, you use Baez, you use Bass, you use Johnson to get to George, and now it's up to George.
3rd game he has appeared in against Tampa Bay this year. He does have 1 save. He has surrendered 1 run on 2 hits this season.
And that was back early on in the game that Mark Hendrickson won, and that was a home run by Navarro.
And he gets to work here in the 9th inning. Crawford leads it off. 2 doubles, 2 for 4, and a 2 RBI ball game. Batting at .338. Shows bunt. Takes the pitch down low.
Now he'll show bunt, but very rarely bunts. But by doing that, Melvin Moore, who was already playing even with the bag. But against slow infield, you do not want the infield hit in front of you.
1-0 delivery to him, and that is a strike at the knees.
Or just below it.
Team has had a 1 for 5 success rate.
Take a look right here. Crawford's trying to get on base, and that ball is definitely low. The Orioles get the call to even up to count 1-1.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Crawford up high and inside, 2-1. George, who has liked to have, not liked it, but has put people on base. Even in the opportunities where he has been successful, he has made it interesting.
Well, he's got a nickname. I nicknamed him Mr. Excitement.
He'd rather not. 2-1 delivery. Crawford swinging over the top of that. A 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, what George tried to do when they announced that in that pitch, I've not in 2 years now ever seen him throw a ball 93. But what he was doing, he was really swinging his leg back. So he's still now going to stay close because you don't really see any of the ball. Just pick it up and put it down. So again, you get a side to side. You have better angle going on, maybe more life in your pitching. You know, he's not your typical. We saw J.P. Cowell come in for the Rays. He threw the curveball, the changeup. George's fastball, curveball. They're not going to turn it over. Not going to throw any 2-seamers to run away from the righties or into the lefties.
The Oriole bullpen has given up nothing tonight. 6 innings worked so far. 4 hits and no runs. 2-2 delivery, and he just fights that off, not daring to let it go by. And it remains a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Crawford.
So again, deception. You don't really see it. I mean, it's coming right over his shoulder, and he was just talking about spine angle on the way to the mound. And down the mound towards the hitter.
And the 2-2 delivery again and again. Fought away, this time inside. Somehow got the fists on that one to foul it away. It stays at 2-2.
Remember, 13 walks in 135 plate appearances. He is not trying to walk. You have to walk Carl Crawford. He's a very good hitter. Just under 300 lifetime, and he's a slasher.
292 off lefties. 2-2 delivery to him, and that's what he tried to do there. Batting average .356 off right-handers, so this is not the side where he's had the most success, but still hitting almost 300 against lefties.
And Mondiez, because of these swings, is playing pretty much where you'd like to think he might hit the ball, which is right down the left field line.
Big gap in left center. 2-2 delivery by Sherrill, and that one just missed. 3-2. Crawford, the leadoff batter in the inning, and then you got Longoria and Pena.
And it looked like he stumbled a little bit, and that ball not even close to getting up in the strike zone to get strike 3.
3-2 delivery on the way. Crawford whacks another one into the seats. This team takes a lot of pitches generally in ball games. They average almost 4 pitches per plate appearance. They have, incredibly in this day and age, they have already gotten to the 2nd most pitches per plate appearance. Yankees, Red Sox, Tampa Bay. 3-2 towards third. Melvin Moore gets it, hustles the throw, and gets the out. Gerald gets him.
Well, nice job by George, just by able to throw the ball over the plate. And with Longoria coming up, big play right here. Quick release by Melvin, accurate throws, out number 1.
Longoria in the ball game, 2 for 4. He has doubled, singled, and has picked up an RBI. Longoria hitting .470, 4 homers and 10 RBIs against the Orioles this year, and takes the pitch for a strike. 9th inning, Orioles have the lead, 7-5. Trying to put away their 4th win in 6 games against Tampa Bay. In this short 2-game set, game 1. Misses down low to him. 1 ball, 1 strike on Longoria. Longoria against the lefties, 343, 364 against right-handers. Nobody gets him out. 11 home runs and 45 RBIs. Outfield very deep to try and cut off any gapper. Takes the pitch outside. 2-1.
And is he a better fastball hitter than breaking ball hitter? Maybe, but if you hang a breaking ball, he can hit it. I mean, you really have to make good pitchers pitches to get him out. And that's what you have to do against good hitters.
2-1 delivery. And got the strike on him. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Longoria. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled it off.
So there's your good breaking ball. You don't get too good a swing. Get that ball up in the strike zone. We've already seen him flick one off the wall for a double. And drove in his 45th RBI of the year. Then they come up and in, and then he's all over the Baez fastball and down into the corner.
Tight ball game. Both managers spectating here in the top of the ninth. 2-2 delivered. Longoria takes it. 3-2. David Ortiz had a great story. It was in the newspaper today as he went in and watched Longoria swinging in slow motion. Most hitters take 5 frames of slow-mo to get from their back foot to the time they actually address the baseball. Longoria takes 8. That means he stays back on pitches about as long as anybody in the game. And that gives him a chance to see a pitch better, but it also means he gets through the strike zone in a real hurry. 3-2 delivery and walking.
And it allows you to discern between a ball and a strike. So very well put, because he took 2 balls right off the corner. So here you go. There's your curveball. Good one. Strike 1. 1-1. Fastball just off the corner. 2-1. Pretty good fastball right there. Pretty good breaking ball right there. Now we get to 3-2. So the first 2 hitters in this inning, George Sherrill 3-2. Crawford, he gets out. Longoria, he doesn't. Tying run at the plate. Guy lead the American League in home runs.
Pena stands in, 1 down. He has singled, drawn an intentional pass, flied out and grounded out in the ball game. 0 for 5 off Sherrill. And the breaking ball is going to miss. In the middle of this order, you knew it was not going to be easy, even if you were able to retire him, to get somebody on, and it just gets that much tougher.
Well, what happened last inning, they turned the lineup over in a sense, because Bartlett was able to get a hit, and then the walk to Navarro off of Jimmy Johnson.
Play behind the runner. Swing on and miss. Huff looked over into the dugout to see where they wanted him, with a left-hander up and a 2-run lead. Not expecting Longoria to go anywhere. They'll stay behind him at first.
Well, George Sherrill throwing some fire tonight. 93. Every fastball's right up in that range, and hardly ever does that. And again, trying to make some adjustments, and at least to this point, it's paid off with velocity.
Pena, 1 ball, 1 strike count. 1-2.
Upper cutter, very difficult to hit that high fastball. I mean, Pena, he doesn't get cheated. He is up there to drive the ball.
One-two delivery to him, and got him looking. Pena never moved the bat. Sherrill gets the strikeout, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, Greg's on, just kind of meandered to the outside corner, and George delivers the ball right to the glove. You don't want to encourage a home plate umpire to call a strike. Make that kind of pitch.
And now the Orioles with a chance to put the win away, and Sherrill to pick up the save. With 2 down, here's Ibar, and that is in there for a strike. 17,122 the announced attendance. They are up and applauding. On at first base, waiting Longoria. High bar, 2 singles. That's a strike. 0-2. George Sherrill wanted the timeout there as he stepped off. 0-2 delivery.
Yeah, Todd Titchener, the home plate umpire, has done a nice job. Very consistent. Zahn moves off the plate. Sherrill throws it right there. Game on the line. He calls it a ball, as he should. How about moving the glove over about an inch or two?
1-2 delivery in the air to center field. Jones backing up. This one's in the books for the O's as they take it 7-5.